Welcome back to the Textual Talk podcast. In this week's episode, we're navigating a surge of serious global cyber threats and digging into some critical shifts in the tech landscape. We're starting with a major attack. A pro-Iran hacktivist group claims to have hit medical device giant Stryker, causing massive global system outages. We'll break down what this means for critical infrastructure.
That's right, and the global security picture is grim. We're discussing a state-backed Chinese hacking campaign, sought Typhoon, that's been quietly compromising global telecom giants, and the chaos that GPS attacks near Iran are wreaking on ordinary life. Plus, the dangers of AI are becoming real. One lawyer is now warning of mass casualty risk from AI psychosis cases.
We're also talking about the people and the culture of tech. From a shocking report about a DOE employee stealing Social Security data on a thumb drive, to the vital discussion on why Black recruiters are essential for creating an equitable workforce. And on a lighter note, we're diving into the promised Macbook Neo and why everyone needs to be playing around with all the new AI agentic tools coming out.
We've got cybersecurity news, workplace debates, and a critical look at the future of tech, including Google's $3.2 billion acquisition of Wiz and how Facebook is finally making it easier for creators to fight impersonators. Don't go anywhere. Episode 203 starts now. Welcome back, everybody. It's your boy HD in the building, and we got
Cybershortieee. Hey, y'all.
How y'all been enjoying these intros? We trying to spice it up. I think I like it.
I low-key, that ate today.
Yeah.
That ate down today.
I like it too because audio and video is different, but for the audio listeners, they would really like it because they know exactly what we're talking about.
Exactly.
They're not on YouTube. People can like hit the description and kind of see what we're talking about, and they probably click somewhere to see what we're talking about. So I really like that. And I think first things first, let's start off with you. You guys cannot see on the screen. Let me go back to this so I can switch back to her.
I can pull her up.
Shortiee has a MacBook Neo.
I'm in love. You guys, this is my first MacBook, and okay, so I'm Team Apple. We know that. But I just did not want to get any type of Mac device computer-based, and I'm in love. It just makes sense. It makes sense. If you already have all these Apple products, it makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Obviously, it is, a cheaper laptop. I'm not expecting, pro capabilities from it. But, the audio's good. It looks good. I haven't really done much on here besides a couple of... I haven't really done much. Music, research, getting prepped for the pod. I haven't done anything that's, I guess, super resource intensive yet, but I'll keep you guys posted. But I love it. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it's funny because I think it was like 1 or 2 episodes ago, I was telling you about, you should go ahead and get a MacBook. And you was like, I don't want to get a MacBook. And I was telling her, like, when it comes to now, that stuff that you're doing, I know you've been playing with AI. I know now you've been doing your content creation and everything else. You really can't find a better value. Like, though I love Windows, like if you're a gamer for PCing and you're upgrading your PC and all the other stuff, Windows, is the move for that. But when it comes to this thing is so simple. Years ago, before I ever got a Mac, I was like, man, I'm not gonna pay no $2,000 for no laptop. That's crazy, woo-de-woo. And now, all of a sudden, like I'm on my second MacBook Pro because they last forever and they do exactly what I needed to do. Like, this thing has great battery life. As you can see, the fan's not even cut on yet. Like, that's one of my pet peeves of Windows.
Bye.
No matter how spec'd out it is, the fan will start coming on.
My Aces, throw it away. Immediate. It gets so hot. It just...
I know.
That was not a good purchase. We should talk about, not good tech purchases one day, because that was...
You got it. You just went out and... It's similar. It reminds me... This conversation reminds me of... whether it's like a dad or a big brother or something, like the sisters going to buy their first car.
I just did a lot of stupid stuff. Like, I bought the iPad. I mean, I still love her. I get the most use out of my iPad for sure. But I didn't, everything I told you I was going to do with it, I ain't done none of that with it.
I mean, I use my iPad like when if I don't lug this around, like it's like a little simple, but it's multifaceted now for me. In the car, I can do something real quick. Or now on long trips, it's what Josh watches. Mm-hmm. So...
I do low-key want a smaller iPad now.
I know.
But I still want the big one, but I want like the little mini one.
Now, guys, the next thing we're gonna have her do, like when I come in here next with the S26 Ultra, she gonna say, "Okay, I'm going to go get one."
I'm screaming.
She's gonna go get one. She's gonna replace one of these iPhones she got on her desk.
I think my favorite part about this though is just how it already integrates with all of my Apple stuff. So like, content, my pictures and all that stuff that I have on here, it just makes it easier versus you having to figure out how to get it on said device. So that's probably my favorite thing is everything's already here.
Perfect. Now, one of the things I had on the docket to be a little serious today, or I could try to be serious, is there's always been these contentious debates over the last couple weeks about who works in tech and who don't, and you're a recruiter, you don't really work in tech, you work in recruitment. While all that stuff is fun and it's good for the algorithm to get clicks and go back and forth, on a serious tip, Black recruiters, whatever they do, and whether it's a tech company or not, they are essentially needed, especially for us. Since I want to say, probably since Trump probably came back in office, like being Black, like in corporate, has been like very different when it's come to interviewing and getting callbacks and everything else. Like, we all really weren't getting a lot of help when it came to DEI. Like those initiatives really was more so for everybody that didn't look like us, if you want to go look at the numbers. But now, like I can tell you guys a personal story from a client of mine who showed me a screenshot of her, and I don't know if it was another recruiter at a recruitment company. I'm not going to divulge names here just because I don't want to get her in any trouble based on whatever conversation she's having for job things. But she sent me a screenshot, and it showed whoever she was talking to, she was pretty much saying whatever recruiter didn't call her. And the guy said, "What? I can't believe that. I gave them 2 resumes. Your resume was much better than his. And let me guess, he called the white guy." And I said that because a lot of times when we come on here, we're seeing the comments, people say we complaining and this or that. I'm like, nobody's really complaining. We kind of already know what we up against, but just actually seeing it, and it'll kind of like really infuriate you. It's like, what's going on here? Like, and then if I take that a step further, then sometimes you get to a new company and you find out like who's managing you or whatever you're doing. Like, these people aren't better than me. I can do this. Like, all the stuff that's happening could have been nipped in the bud if somebody more competent was in charge. And yet a lot of times that's when I was talking to a friend of the show, Bryson, and I was talking about how when I apply to jobs a lot of times, and if whatever role it is, I'll go look through the security org and just see if I see 1 or 2 faces that look like me. Most of the time I don't. So most of them times I chalk it up to you may get hit back up, but 9 times out of 10 they not calling you, fam. Now, these are the biases. This is the one part of the diversity part when it comes to race and everything else. The other part I talk about when it comes to security and diversity is backgrounds, as far as what did you used to do for work or where you came from or what company that you used to work for and how that background can help you exceed in a org for security. But I don't want to go on like a long tangent with this because I think like after that, she ended up having a call with a recruiter, and the recruiter basically tried to talk them out of the role, saying they don't think you'd be a good fit. I'm like, why in the hell would you call somebody and say you don't think they're gonna be a good fit? Like, what was the whole purpose of that? Like, hang on, let me do this real quick because guys, I got my sounds now.
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that? Like, I don't understand like none of this stuff that's going on right now in the industry. You have people who aren't qualified getting hired. You just had what did Lee send me about the guy that I'm gonna find him off on really quick because he always sending me some stuff. Because remember the last one that was over CISA, I think that's how you pronounce it, right? CISA. Mm-hmm. He was not qualified. And the next person, so see, the Senate on Tuesday approved, I guess, General Joshua Rudd to serve as head of both U.S. Cyber Command and the National Security Agency, finally filling a critical military position that has remained vacant since last April. The Senate approved Rudd by a vote of 71-29, with some Democratic lawmakers objecting to his lack of cyber experience. Rudd was elevated to the rank of general as part of the vote. Now, how can you put somebody over a national security agency and a cyber command and they have no experience in either? So, like, sometimes what I be wanting to tell them people when they give feedback or when they want to talk about experience and stuff, it's like, bro, don't talk to me about experience or what I need to know how to do from no longer when y'all have people lives at stake with people that don't know what they're doing. And this based on today's episode, this is the worst time people who don't know what they need to be, don't know what they're doing, are in charge. Especially when y'all see what's going on with Iran and then whoever their allies are. CISA don't have any money now because of the administration and everything else. It's a mess. So when you get mad or you come in the comments and you try to like troll the black people or say we whining or not, we're not. We're looking at the injustices that's happening, people that are qualified. And it's not even, take black out of it. Just say people who are qualified are not even getting a shot at the role because you just want a person that's going to say yes to you because they don't know what they're doing and you can control them because they don't know what they're doing. They're not going to have a backbone. And so when we look up in the next couple of years and everything is real bad, y'all can blame y'all administration for the trickle-down effect that it's had on the nation and in the sub-pockets of the industry and all these people that vote this way. And this also goes into one of the last things where, and I'll put it on split screen too. When I was talking about all the black women that love to champion my white manager, my white manager, my white manager, and I was like, that's cool, but what your white manager voted for when it came to election time? Exactly. So they only have seen it at work. I'm saying, no, you really don't understand. It's always a back and forth. I get it. Two things can be true. Your black manager did treat you better than that black woman manager. That could possibly be all the way true. I know for a fact it's not every black woman manager. Sometimes some of them are jealous because, hey, maybe the younger woman is getting more attention to them. Maybe they're more attractive than they are. Maybe, yada, yada. Those petty things do happen. But also what can happen is these people vote in the self-interest of themselves, and that's directly affecting you. And matter of fact, I think that it kind of goes into what you're talking about with the Europe stuff, but how I think it's harder for y'all now too, getting jobs now, just being black women.
Mm-hmm.
And
we're the most educated.
That's a topic. That's a panel topic that me and Bryson want to bring up because
we know black women are educated.
Yeah,
I mean,
but but it's a nuanced conversation because the most educated out of black men, I think, of course, because women gravitate to going to school more than men do. But everybody know, and then we're gonna talk about what the actual majors are. So it's it's gonna be a really spirited conversation, not in a bad faith way, but some good things that we could talk about and what can we do with this information and band together and all this other stuff. But I just want everybody to know, like, if you're a black recruiter, we appreciate you. Because you go, like, a lot of you guys do go the extra mile when you can and review our stuff. And not only black recruiters, black people in HR. Like, a lot of these things mean a lot. Like, I got the 411 on a lot of stuff that was happening when the black chick in HR left my current company. She put me on a lot of game. Mm-hmm. That'll never happen if, you ain't got the complexion for the protection.
I think that black recruiters... I think that we definitely have to give black recruiters a round of applause. And also even from the perspective of we know that we are, I'm trying to get the words out. Mm-hmm. We know that we have a disadvantage, right, in some way, shape, or form. But I don't even think that people are even thinking about how does it feel to be a black recruiter, right? It's a lot that goes on that they know about that, like you just said, the GP, the general population, is just not aware of. And again, if you don't have friends that are recruiters or you don't have a personal connection to a recruiter, you don't even know what's going on or the struggles that they're going through. We know that they're typically the first roles to go when it is time to go. You know what I mean? So I think we got to give credit when credit is due. And shout out to our recruiter friends.
Facts. But I think that was very spirited. But I know that you were really ready to get into this Iran Stryker stuff.
I really, 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 really am. Let me find her. So if you are not aware, your girl is from the city where Stryker is. Do your math, do your research. But I really was excited to talk about this. So Stryker is headquartered in Portage, Michigan, which is basically where I'm from. Well, not Portage, but Kalamazoo. And so I know a lot of folks who work there. So when this hit Facebook, you know how it be. It was a lot of information. So on March 11th, 2026, a pro-Iranian hacktivist group called Handala claimed responsibility for a massive cyber attack on Stryker, one of the world's largest medical device companies. We're talking surgical equipment, orthopedic implants, neurotechnology, hospital beds. They have about 25 billion in revenue with about 56,000 employees, and their products reach about 150 million patients a year. Now, let me take a step back. What is a hacktivist group, and how is this different from ransomware? So Handala says it wiped more than 200,000 servers, devices, and systems across Stryker's global network in 79 countries. Employees showed up to work and saw the Handala logo on their login screens. People's phones were wiped. The company shut down offices in multiple countries, including their largest hub outside the US in Cork, Ireland, where over 5,000 employees were sent home. Now, this was a wiper attack, not ransomware. And let's kind of talk a little bit more about what that distinction is. So, ransomware obviously is about money, wipe attacks are about destruction. Handala wasn't asking for a payout. They stated that this was retaliation for a U.S. military strike on a girls' school in southern Iran, the Manab school attack that killed over 170 people, most of them being children. Cyber researchers who track Hamdallah believe the group is actually a front for a threat actor called Void Manticore, which is linked allegedly to Iran's Ministry of Intelligence and Security. So while they present as hacktivists, they may be state level resources that's backing them. Now, what is really wild, according to security analysts, the attackers may have gained access to Stryker's Intune console, which is the mobile device management platform that companies use to push out patches and manage all of their devices. So when you control that console, you control basically the kill switch. So they didn't need custom malware. They used Stryker's own tools against them. Now, if you think about what that means, the tools that the company is using to protect their devices became the tool that was used to destroy them. And that is a supply chain of trust violation. Now, if we think of kind of what's going on here, as of this recording, Stryker has not confirmed a restoration timeline. No ransomware, no malware payload detected, but 200,000 devices wiped. Hospitals and surgical centers that depend on Stryker are already feeling the downstream effects. I kind of think that this pattern here with healthcare and then obviously critical infrastructure is it's kind of scary because there's a lot of like geopolitical conflict that is going on right now, this is obviously impacting, and this is like high visibility. So again, Stryker, headquartered in Portage, they acquired Israeli medical tech firm Orthospace in 2019, a connection that researchers say may have contributed to Handala's targeting them specifically. The attack began in the early hours of March 11th, starting with their Cork, Ireland facility. Handala emerged after the Hamas attack of October 7th, 2023, and has since targeted
Israeli?
My God, infrastructure, Gulf energy companies, and Western organizations with ideological ties to Israel and its allies. So when you think about like Checkpoint and other companies, they are, kind of
in Israel
tracking. Yeah. But yeah, this is a masterclass in why healthcare cybersecurity is one of the most critical and underfunded sectors in the industry. So if you are trying to specialize in healthcare IT, this would be a great opportunity for you to start looking into some HIPAA, high trust frameworks, some medical device security standards, and then combining that with a little bit of operational technology. I can't believe that happened.
So I can, and I think so. It's funny enough. Dr. Jury, she had hit me up and asked me about it. She's like, they in Michigan, and so she hit me up on the side. I actually could probably play. I should play her voice note right here or not, but I should have asked her first. So I'm not gonna play it. But I think what happened is it's a supply chain thing. I don't think it was ransomware like it said.
I don't think it was.
I believe they probably got into Stryker systems from one of their smaller companies or whatever, and found a link to this is all third party risk, in my opinion. to where you found out they had access to something they couldn't access and had a way to get into Stryker kind of like more undetected. Because typically, if your company's been breached, assume that they've been in there at least, what is it? I think 6 months is 180 days.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to assume they've been in there 180 days. And we saw from last week with Trizetto, they was in there about a year. And so you got to assume that you've already been breached. That's a lot of things. That's what I normally used to say a lot of times in interviews, like, hey, well, I got to assume we already been a breach, because that's typically what you assume when you work in the IR. So by that standard is this, I don't call it like a logic bomb, but it could have been like, all right, look, if they do something to Iran, this is what we're going to do to them. And I think that's what is an if then. I think that's what happened.
I think that the fact that they just wiped stuff, are we going to see more of that? Because
absolutely.
we've talked about so many ransomware attacks. Is that old now? You know what I mean? Like,
well, this is honestly, this was easier because they already had access to everything.
Wiping it is crazy.
But that's, I think this is why the GRC piece to everything has to make sense, because if it's over, okay. On my end, if we saw somebody do some MDM or weird IM stuff in Azure, we're going to get a detection instantly, because it's going to be over the threshold that we see. Now, it may not be a 1-to-1. Like if it's 1 o'clock now, maybe they did it at 1. We possibly may not see it to like 105 or 110 based on how the logs come in. If that happens, you got to initially say, okay, Mayday, we don't see no change. This is, these people aren't online. We need to use our break guys accounts, whatever, and stop this, or whoever that person was, disable their account, because what are you doing? That's not a change. We don't really do this, yada, yada, yada. And so you could kind of stop the bleeding in, but at the same time, you don't know what patient 0 was. And for people who don't know who patient 0 is, that's literally, you're going to talk about whatever system was compromised first. So you don't know the scope of who's all in your environment. All you know is some stuff is happening that's not happening. So it could be definitely a long day for your team, but for them to do that much damage and you didn't stop it lets me know there is a lot of bad detections. Everybody's siloed. Policies are bad, because there should be a policy. And this is one of the things like we were talking about on a handover, because we were talking about making detections for this just in case, because everybody pretty much uses most of the time Intune. And Intune is just for people sometimes be twofold. One, if you have a company device, or if you got your own device, they can put a container on your phone so they can make sure like nobody should be able to access company information off your phone. Like if your phone gets stolen, they can instantly wipe it. That's literally what it's for.
Listen, when I first heard about the attack, that's what I thought happened. When I first heard that the devices were wiped, I thought Stryker did it, like as a security. Like I was like, well, at least they have, my logic was, okay, they got their devices enrolled. They have some sort of system they're using to control them. Maybe they just did that to be safe. But when I found out it wasn't them.
Yeah. And I'm interested to see. So like even in Intune, you could do one or two things. You could retire a device where it's literally, you can get the information back.
I don't think it's coming back.
Or they did the wipe disable where it's, all the data gone. And so it's like you just got a new phone.
Literally can you imagine? This is insane. Like it is so, y'all, they're not even asking for money. They're just like, you know what? I got something for you. We finna just wipe. Like that's crazy.
But they said a long time ago, like the fights would not be on the battlefield.
Facts.
I mean, we got the missile stuff that's going on and all that crap, and that's all one part of it. But now this is the part, okay, because people don't realize.
What's the movie called? The movie.
Which one?
That the Obamas had produced.
I don't know.
The one that was on Netflix about the end of the world with the Teslas and all the technology.
Oh, I didn't watch that one.
You didn't? It was good, but this is.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, most of these attacks are, I'll just say, negligence, because like I said, people want all this experience, but there's probably a person out here that would have said, this person's account got too much experience, and I gotta know, okay, that's why I want to really follow this. So guys, it's not gonna be the first time we talk about this, but I want to know, did people have access to do this from their regular account, or was it from their admin account? Because typically you should have these segmented because you're doing admin privileges inside of Intune. Who was compromised? All those different things, because technically you should have 2 different passwords, because technically you're probably not going to have MFA on a privileged account. So the people probably compromised the regular account and say, maybe their password is the same. Let's see what it is, and let's log in and see what they can do.
And this is why companies are this is another reason why PIM is so important, right? But companies are annoyed with having to PIM up, especially because okay, for example, it's only 2 of us. It's just me and you. Why we got to PIM? It's just me and you. I know you know, but that's the whole point. That's the point of it.
Yeah. So
this is the point.
It's that I don't remember we was talking about tabletops.
Yeah.
So we don't know when the last time they had a tabletop, because companies like that, it's like a monopoly. They making easy money because they like the people in their space that people go to. They get real lax because the money is coming in, but everything else takes a back burner. It's a lax environment. I got a friend that work at another healthcare company, and he said it's pretty easy. Like a lot of them, think about it, a lot of people not attacking them, but now they should be on high alert.
Can you believe they just wiped it?
And the crazy thing is, now that affects people in real life.
No, how do you explain that to your employees? It's one thing to explain it to the world, but how do you explain that to your employees? How and then this goes into like, how are you even able to get in contact with these employees if they can't even access their devices, right? They've been wiped. So how do they even when you get a laptop and you're onboarded to a company, that's a whole process. When your device has been offboarded and you can't access anything, now how do you what tabletop? What are the lines of communication?
No.
If the line of communication goes out or down, like this is, y'all, this is crazy.
If you work at Stryker, leave us a comment. Leave us a comment below if you work at Stryker. I hate that happened to the people in the medical devices it affect, but this is what happens when the CISO. Matter of fact, you probably should Google right now and see if they got a CISO job opening for Stryker, because he definitely about gone at this point.
I can't believe that. I mean, obviously I can believe it, but this is crazy.
But
it's crazy.
It's also a theory of mine.
I'm like almost speechless.
It could be an inside job too. So now when it comes to all the geopolitical stuff, and this is not to what's the word? And look this up, make sure I'm using it right. Cast dispergence. I think that's how you say it. This is a word Stephen A say all the time.
Dispergence. Let me look that up.
Look, y'all, be learning in real time.
Dispergence means. Wait. I don't think I spelled it right.
Me either, because I know
because it said disperse.
Yeah, that's not. I don't know what it's not disparage, or maybe it's the other word, version of disparage.
Disparage.
I don't know. We're not. This is an English class. We'll figure it out. But I just want to say that this is where, and I would not be surprised, where companies start doing specialized monitoring on their overseas contractors and the people that they work for, figuring out who their companies are aligned with, because these people can also be insider threats now. And so the key word I also want to think about the Stryker stuff, I believe it could be also that insider threat or actual insider, whether it's at Stryker or one of the companies that they have, like that's one of their suppliers that has like a really strong relationship with them, because something ain't right.
I'm floored, and it's scary. And wow, I don't even have words for that. But I will say this: if you thought that was an interesting incident that happened, research the MITRE ATT&CK framework techniques that are used in wiper attacks. Learn a little bit more about the data destruction and those disk wipe tactics that were used in this scenario.
Yeah.
And then you can talk about that in the interview.
Yeah. That's why I said the policy should be in place. Okay, hey, if you got to do X amount of wipes, it needs to be another person got to sign off on it. So no matter what, you can't just do it by yourself. They got to go to a change that go into a thing, and it's an automation. And that person got to say, I agree, for it to go through. That's what they got to do. So look, hire me for your strategist. I got you. I got you. I think since we're on the topic of having fun when it comes to breaches and stuff like that, I wanted to talk about Salesforce. All right. It took me a minute. We got it. Shiny Hunters versus Salesforce. When your security tool becomes the attack. All right, Shiny Hunters is back, and this time they didn't just hack a company. They took a tool that was literally designed to protect Salesforce environments and turned it into their weapon. Let's talk about it. Salesforce issued an advisory this week warning customers that threat actors are actively targeting misconfigured Salesforce Experience Cloud sites. Experience Cloud is the portal product that lets company build customer-facing websites connected directly to their Salesforce CRM data. Think partner portals, customer self-service sites, login pages tied into your CRM. What is the Salesforce Experience Cloud and why is it a target? When you build an Experience Cloud site, it has a guest user profile. That's the profile for an unauthenticated visitor who can browse public pages, submit forms, things like that. The problem is when an admin accidentally gives that guest profile too many permissions, suddenly anyone on the internet, no login required, can query your Salesforce CRM objects and pull names, phone numbers, and customer records. Now, here's where it gets wild. Back in January, Mandiant, the Google-owned security firm, released an open source tool called Aura Inspector, specifically help Salesforce admins find these misconfigurations before attackers could exploit them. A defensive tool, a helper. Shiny Hunters took that tool, modified it, and used it to do mass internet scanning to find every misconfigured Salesforce instance they could. Then they built their own custom tool to bypass a record limit in the API. Because the default was capped at 2,000 records per query, it started dumping CRM data at scale. Sound like an overflow attack to me. They claim to have compromised somewhere between 300 and 400 companies, about 100 of which they described as high profile. Many in the cybersecurity sector itself, LastPass confirmed they are aware of the campaign and investigating. Other named companies haven't responded. Salesforce official position, this is not a vulnerability in their platform. It's a customer misconfiguration. Shiny Hunters told reporters they are exploiting a product flaw, but won't disclose it until their exploitation phase is over. Classic extortion playbook. The data that they're harvesting, names, phone number, CRM records, feeds directly into their next phase attack, phishing. Voice phishing. They call your customers pretending to be you and they have enough real data to be convincing. If your organization uses Salesforce Experience Cloud, this is a check your settings today situation. And let me see also if I can get some more background too about Shiny Hunters. We've talked about them last week. So this ties into they are recruiting women to do these phishing attacks as well. They're one of the most active extortion groups operating right now. They're behind the Snowflake customer breach in 2024. They did the Salesforce sales loft drift incidents last year, and that nearly hit 1 billion records across 39 companies, including Gap and Qantas. They operate a data leak site and use stolen data as leverage for ransom demands. They are persistent, organized, and increasingly sophisticated in their targeting of SaaS platform misconfigurations. If your organization uses Salesforce Experience Cloud, go to Setup Guest User Profile right now and verify that API enabled is unchecked. This closes the attack vector. Audit your guest profile object permissions. They should only have access to records explicitly intended for public consumption. Check Aura event monitoring logs for unusual access patterns, particularly to the /s/SF sites/R endpoint. Or is that a backslash? I feel like that's a /, yeah. Research Shiny Hunters attack history. It's a masterclass in how one group pivots across different platforms. I'm reading too fast. Research Shiny Hunters attack history. It's a masterclass in how one group pivots across different platforms, misconfigurations, Snowflake, Salesforce, Salesloft, and more. And study the concept of least privilege and SaaS administration. It's the same principle as traditional IT, but applied to CRM permissions and portal configurations. And to add on to that, I wanted to talk about, I think it's pronounced TELUS. TELUS was like the main company that pretty much alerted everybody that, they've been breached. So anybody that's partnered with TELUS, your security team probably got an email saying, hey, this is what happened. Here's the write-up and yada, yada, yada. So TELUS digital breach, almost 1 petabyte gone. And it started with someone else's hack.
That's a lot.
Yeah, how much is a peta?
Too much.
Because a terabyte
is more than that.
No. A peta should be more because this is 2 terabytes right here. So a peta, I think, is it 100 terabytes maybe? Look that up while I'm seeing this xCloud. This one is a supply chain breach story that's almost elegant in how it unfolded, and by elegant I mean terrifying. Let's walk through how shiny hunters took a credential from one company's breach and used it to eventually steal close to a petabyte of data from a completely different organization. Oh, here you go. I got the answer. 1 petabyte is roughly 1 million gigabytes. Some reports say it's enough data to fill 1 million high-definition feature films. This is not a we lost some customer emails breach. This is a we may have lost everything. So who is TELUS Digital? It's the digital service arm of TELUS, one of Canada's largest telecom companies. TELUS Digital specifically provides business process outsourcing, customer support, content moderation, AI data training, fraud detection, call center operations for other companies around the world. They're the behind-the-scenes operation for a lot of brands you use. Here's how this breach happened. Remember the Salesforce drift breach from 2025? Hackers compromised Salesforce's GitHub environment, stole OAuth tokens, and used them to access Salesforce data from hundreds of organizations. And the data that was stolen from the breach, shiny hunters found Google Cloud Platform credentials that belong to TELUS. Using those GCP credentials, they got into TELUS Google Cloud environment, including a BigQuery data house, a BigQuery data warehouse. Then, and this is the move, they use a tool called TruffleHog to scan all the data for additional credentials. Found more, pivoted further into TELUS' system, moved laterally for months. So they was in there for a while, as usual, and eventually came to have downloaded close to a petabyte of data. What's in the data? According to Shiny Hunters, customer support call recordings, source code, employee records, including FBI background checks, financial information, Salesforce data, AI training data, and consumer call records from TELUS Telecom division. Who called who? When? For how long? The extortion demand, $65 million. $65 million? Who y'all kidnapping? Chelsea Clinton? TELUS hasn't responded to their emails. TELUS confirms that the breach this week, calling it unauthorized access to a limited number of systems, a bit understated given the claim scale, but that's corporate incident response language for you. Yeah, definitely say, oh yeah, we're aware of a security incident and we're researching it. That's all we're going to say. Nothing else.
Literally, the bare minimum.
The cascading damage here, because TELUS Digital is a BPO provider, 28 other companies that outsource their operations through TELUS Digital may have had their customer data exposed too. We don't know who those companies are yet. And typically now this is another part of third-party thing. So once you are a person that uses TELUS or a company, you're going to get with your supplier managers, GRC team, and you're going to try to figure out, okay, we know they've been hit. How much access do they have of our company's data? Do they have any of their employees have access to our systems? Or if it is, what's infected, yada, yada, yada. And you're trying to figure out what type of their data is impacted so you can kind of figure out how to move from that. From a legal standpoint, if you have to tell your customers, hey, we was hacked because they was hacked. That's in layman's terms, that's what's going to happen. BPO providers are one of the most underappreciated attack vectors in enterprise security. Because they aggregate sensitive operations, customer support data, billing systems, authentication tools for multiple organizations, a single BPO compromise can create a blast radius that touches dozens of downstream clients. Most enterprise security programs focus heavily on their own perimeter and their direct SaaS vendors, but third and fourth party risk through service providers like BPOs is frequently under-assessed. This breach should prompt every enterprise to ask who handles our customer support data and what is in their security posture. And this is how I can see AI helping that, because it's so hard to keep tabs on this. I'm not going to tell it to y'all because y'all going to steal the idea. But in interviews, I've came up with a solution that I think could help for this. And maybe I'll write it out and like put it like not in the GitHub, but like I don't know. But I already had a proof of concept in my mind. I just have to figure out how to make it look actionable from a data standpoint or how it would work with like just dummy data. And if I could do that, I literally could show somebody, hey, this is what I advise for third-party risk management, especially if whether you have a large team or a small team, how AI can help you in that matter. And it's literally just an automation of a couple of questions that you can ask every quarter or something. And so a couple of action items is research TruffleHog, understand what it does and why developers accidentally commit credentials to repositories and data stores. Study third-party risk management frameworks. Look at the shared assessment standard, information gathering. So that's SIG. And NIST SP 800-161 on supply chain risk. And other stuff, you can research the Salesforce breach and look up BigQuery security risk practices. So yeah, it's been an interesting week. You had that, I want to say Stryker happened on Tuesday, right?
Yes.
This was on Monday.
Or was Stryker on Monday?
Maybe both.
I think Stryker was on Monday.
Yeah, maybe both of them were on Monday. But I thought that was like pretty interesting to me because it's like, if it ain't one thing, it's another.
It's always gonna be another.
That's why I say job security.
I think when I was looking at this article, I feel like I saw Stryker. Okay, on the door it says, "Please read."
You told me saw like a picture or something?
Yeah, it says Stryker is currently experiencing a global system issue. As a precaution, we're closing the facility for the day. Please stay off the network and refrain from using your computer and connecting to Wi-Fi on phones until systems are restored. For work phones, it's recommended to remove the Stryker management profile. And then they have like the steps. Go to settings, general, and basically what? That's crazy.
Yeah. What did you have for us?
Okay, next I have Doge. Doge and Social Security data, a thumb drive full of America's secrets. A whistleblower complaint filed with the Social Security Administration's own Inspector General alleges that a former Doge software engineer walked out the door with restricted databases on a personal thumb drive. We're not talking about a few files here. We're actually talking about records for over 500 million living and dead Americans. What is Doge? Who are these employees and what access did they have? The databases in question is called Numident, I believe, which contains social security numbers, birth dates, citizenship status, race, ethnicity, and parents' names, and the master death file. These are the most sensitive identity databases the federal government maintains. According to the complaint, the engineer told colleagues he had God-level access to the SSA systems. He allegedly said that even after leaving government employment, he retained his credentials and he reportedly expected a presidential pardon if he got caught. So this is not the first Doge-related data concern at the SSA. In January, 2 other Doge members were suspected of sharing social security numbers with a political advocacy group. Another whistleblower earlier alleged that Doge uploaded SSA data to an unsanctioned cloud server. A federal judge had previously blocked Doge from SSA systems, describing it as a phishing expedition. Now, from a cybersecurity lens, this is obviously a classic insider threat scenario. An employee who obviously had elevated privileges, he had legitimate authorized access using that in a way that violates policy, law, or intent. The challenge with insider threats is that traditional perimeter security obviously will not catch this. You can't firewall a thumb drive that's already in someone's pocket. The SSA spokesperson denied any wrongdoing. Their investigation is ongoing. But I kind of want to be clear about the stakes. One former SSA chief data officer called this potentially an irrecoverable loss. He said, once that data has left the building, you cannot close Pandora's box again. This could require a complete redesign of how identity works in the United States. Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency, was established by executive order and granted broad access to federal agency systems. Its employees, many of them tech contractors, were given access that career employees say exceeded normal protocols. The SSA processes benefits for over 70 million Americans and maintains some of the most sensitive identity data in existence. This obviously is a textbook insider threat case study. The controls that failed here were data exfiltration prevention, so DLP, privilege access management, offboarding credential revocation, and audit logging. Organizations need to ask themselves when an employee leaves, how long does it take to revoke all of their access? If the answer is we're not sure, obviously that's a gap. Insider threat analytics in itself is a lot. I think that companies feel like it's a big haul and they are they're nervous on how to correctly deploy it as a solution most times. But obviously in this case, it's better to have it in place and receive those bells and whistles when you need them. I think that this was crazy.
Yeah, it's
what did he say? He had godlike access.
I mean, every day we just read about another thing, like how Doge was always a bad idea. Mm-hmm. You have people like, this is why. Hang on, let me.
It's the Excel for me.
Oh, man, let me get this. Buddy, who had got fired or laid off from Amazon, he do got a new job now, so shout out to him. But this goes into why people always kind of are low key, like, bro, y'all in the government and don't be doing no work, and y'all don't know what y'all doing. This is why people feel like that, because even if Doge came in there still should have been places that, okay, these people are going to revoke their access, everything have, and these people should have never been able to put thumb drives.
Don't even get me started on the lack of data security in general. First of all, why can you even plug up a thumb drive to an SSA system?
Right. And if you were, it had to be approved into where it would only work on that system, because you can do that.
You can.
So
they don't have any data security controls clearly in place.
And that is why I'm like, I just kind of get upset or like,
it is very frustrating.
Something ain't right, because being a contractor for TSA, they were super strict. Hey, you can plug none into the machines, the DHS machines. This is how you kind of verify these people when they come on, like literally high level. And this was 12 years ago when it came to identity access management. So everything is just getting so lax. It really, it's just, you know what I'm saying? It's a clusterfuck right now. Like, then a dude talking about, like, why'd he say he needs to get him a pardon?
Why are we already talking about?
That's what I need.
But the intent obviously is to be malicious. His intention was to be malicious, because why would you say that? You ain't get them social security numbers to go do good with them.
Man, I don't know. And I'm wondering, like, are they gonna tell the people who?
No, probably not, because they don't know.
I beg your pardon.
Like, this is wild, bro. Like, don't.
But this is my thing. We see all this stuff going on, and we just turn a blind eye to it.
It's not that we turn a blind eye. What can you do?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, what can you do? So, I thought that was pretty interesting. But let me get into some of these Reddit stories I have. I got like two. One of them was interesting to me. It caught my eye, and it was titled, "I pushed back on an HR deadline and it accidentally revealed they had a second budget they weren't telling candidates about. I went through a 4-round interview process for a senior ops role at a mid-sized logistics company back in January. Final round went well. I felt good about it. A week later, the HR coordinator emailed an offer with the 48-hour deadline to accept. The base was about 12% below what I had staged as my minimum during the very first screening call. So I replied the same day saying, I appreciated the offer, but that it didn't quite meet the number we had already discussed, and if there was any flexibility. She came back a few hours later and said the offer was firm and that the deadline still stood. I didn't panic, but I also didn't sign. What I did instead was reply and say I understood that I was still very interested in the role and asked if we could schedule a 15-minute call with the hiring manager before the deadline to talk through the compensation structure and what growth looked like in year two. She agreed, probably expecting me to just accept on the call. The hiring manager got on within about 4 minutes. He said, look, I think there might have been some miscommunication on the range. Let me look at what we have and put me on hold. He came back and offered me a number that was actually 6% above my original ask. Turns out they had a separate budget line for senior hires that HR wasn't servicing to candidates unless they pushed back past the initial offer stage. I've since told 3 people about this, and 2 of them tried the same thing on their own offers. One of them got bumped up, the other didn't, but said it was worth asking. The deadline was extended automatically once I requested a call. They never mentioned that was possible either. So this is some good stuff. This is some good stuff. Simply because you never want to accept the first offer. And it's not about what you're worth, it's about what you negotiate. So I want you to remember that. And while we're here, let me see if I should go into the second one. Yeah, because these are all around jobs. It's this, and then it's actually, since this segment is kind of about getting jobs, stuff like that, there was a TikTok I found from that same one of the recruiter guys we listened to last week who had some excellent advice on how to stand out. So here's another one. It said, it finally happened. I got the your job hopping comment in the wild. I was with my last company for 2 years before being laid off in January. Before that, I was in a job for 6 months, then I got laid off. Before these jobs, I had 2 4-year tenures. Maybe I'm not the most loyal of employees, but also definitely not the worst. Went for a job interview at a government agency, and the old lady went,
I'm dead.
You have the tech skills we need, but it's hard for me to believe in you when you job top 4 times in 10 years. Me. Well, actually, if you recall some news reports around both times, I was hiring manager. In my experience, layoffs are usually the employee's fault. After all, if 90% of the employees are staying, then why are you at the bottom 10%? Actually, I was a high performer due for a promotion. Thanks for your time. HR lady will see you out. Cut to HR lady looking extremely uncomfortable. I thanked her and noped out of there. I couldn't fight back because I'm desperate. I wanted to tell her that I was probably making more than she does in my first job 10 years ago. I want to tell her the only reason I even applied for her job is because I'm a foreigner in the EU and need a job ASAP before my talent import visa runs out. And I want to tell her that I was a human being and deserved some minimal respect. But I couldn't because I was desperate and upset. So here I am whining about it on Reddit. Yeah, that's crazy. That's it sucked because it's like I've had that happen before. I reached out to a director about a role one time, and I was like, "Hey, I saw you talk about the job, and I think I had the experience you're looking for the role. What are you looking for?" Yeah, thanks. And so he accepted my connection, looked over my resume and stuff like that. Well, not my resume, my LinkedIn. Hey, LinkedIn shows you only stay at jobs blank amount of years. You got answers to that?
I'm actually, I'm low key offended.
I'm like, well, honestly, only 2 jobs I actually was at for about a year. And I was like, that literally just happened. That was just wonky, it just wasn't good fits. But I was like, before that, those jobs, I was almost at one job for 4 years. And then my current thing, I've been there for however many years now. So after that, I didn't say nothing. So I took that as like, you just wanted to nitpick me and you didn't want to hire me anyway. Which is, I actually respect you just be a blunt, say, I don't want to hire you, versus you just making up some BS. Because if the dude got the talent you need, you don't care how long he stays somewhere because they can do what you need them to do.
That is literally what I was about to say. I got the skill set. You worried about the wrong thing.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. So I definitely do feel a lot of the young cats and stuff when they kind of go through some of these things, and because it's stupid, in my opinion. Here we go.
Get asked in a job interview, why do you want to leave your current job? I want you to tell them you're not. I want you to take advantage of the fact that they don't know anything about you or your current job. So while everybody else is saying the same tired answer, oh, I'm just looking for a new opportunity, there's no more room to grow where I am, I'm looking to grow, you are going to be more specific and more memorable and someone they have to do some work to get. I wouldn't say that I actively am trying to leave my current job, but there are things out there that could make a job or a company a better opportunity for me. So when I noticed this job posting, I thought it only made sense to send in an application. The fact that this role needs X or the fact that this company does Y really interests me and is worth exploring and learning more about this opportunity.
I'm gonna pause it right there because he, as you say, he ate down, and that helps out. I've had times where I've talked to healthcare companies or whoever, and I've always said stuff like, I apply to it, it interests me. After all the hacks I've seen, like Change Healthcare, then where else, I want to do a job that I know that can help protect the, the in person that was receiving these services and everything else. And the recruiters love that. And it's one thing that definitely can say, okay, I got buy into the culture of what our mission is from a security org. So he's definitely telling y'all, the facts. Like, we got the gift of gab. You can be at something, but if it's I say depending on how much you really want to do the role. Like, if it's something you just apply to, like, they ain't finna call me. Oh, I'm just looking for better career opportunities. Keep it bland. But if it's something you really want to go through the system with, and I don't know if he's probably not gonna mention on this because it's a different thing. But I always say, even if you don't get the job, but you enjoyed the interview process, stay connected with some of the people you interview with. They can essentially come your network and just warm messages throughout the years. You never know what'll come from that. But let's let them keep eating.
Because I do want to be intentional with any career moves I make and not just be someone who's going from place to place hoping to find something good. And luckily, because I'm not in a bad position right now, I really have the chance to find the right opportunity for me. This both shows you do care where you work and also shows the company that they're going to have to do a little bit to show you it's the right fit. All while also not making sure you look too flippant about the job and are really exploring the right opportunities, not just everything. When you get...
That was cute. He chewed.
Yeah, I like that. Like, he definitely was on to something. Let me see what else you could say. A lot of stuff you can do. So another thing that kind of low-key helps, because it helped me one time because a recruiter said something about it. I applied for a role, and I also followed the company on LinkedIn. So it's like little simple things that you can do that can kind of set you apart from everybody else. So I would say definitely try that as well. But yeah, I thought that was cool. And let me see if there's anything else you can do outside of having a decent LinkedIn. Oh, also, guys, while I'm here, last week, Markeisha and I, we did resume roast and people loved it. So go to the live tab of the channel and check out the resume roast and see if you've made any of the cardinal issues we did. Now, a lot of people in the comments are saying, hey, well, you guys are like, y'all just looking for something wrong. Yeah, that's the whole point of a roast. The whole point of the roast was to nitpick your resume, because a lot of you don't know is when you're part of the job, if the recruiter even sees it, if it gets past AI, they got 6-7 seconds, maybe they're looking at it. So they're not even looking at it in the detail that we are. They're just looking for keywords and everything else. So this was to help you out and be thorough with people, whether it comes to their LinkedIn or whether it came to their resume, to help them out. And so we may make it a monthly thing or whatever, because people really did enjoy it. That's the
how many did y'all do?
We did 3 or 4, because we was like on a time crunch. But if we ever had like 2 hours or 3 hours to go through, it's fine. And also, another thing people don't understand is y'all got like what you would typically pay for that service out of us was much more than you got for watching it for free. So you definitely should appreciate that. Free 99. So take advantage of it. But it has timestamps and everything else. So yeah, go check that out.
My go, Salt Typhoon. So China's longest play in cyber history. If you've been following us, you have absolutely heard us mention them before, but TechCrunch just dropped a comprehensive rundown of the full scope of this campaign, and I want to revisit it because the numbers are absolutely outrageous. So Salt Typhoon is a China-linked hacking group that has compromised over 200 companies globally, most of them phone and internet providers. We got AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, and U.S. telecoms in Canada, Ireland, Finland, Poland, Brazil, Argentina, South Africa, and beyond. So they are one of the most far-reaching espionage campaigns in modern cyber history. Now, what does espionage mean in a cyber context versus financially motivated attacks? So what they are after: call records, text messages, in some cases captured audio from senior government officials' phones, and critically, they hacked into the lawful intercept systems. Those are the backdoors that telecom companies are legally required to build so that law enforcement can monitor communications with a court order. Salt Typhoon basically walked through that door. The FBI has said this is, quote, the most
egregious.
Why can't I talk today? The most egregious national security breach by a nation state in U.S. history, and yet most people still don't know what Salt Typhoon is. How did they get in? Cisco routers, unpatched vulnerabilities, some dating back to 2018. The entry point wasn't sophisticated, it was basic. The FBI Deputy Assistant Director said it himself, despite all the advances in cybersecurity tools, it is still the most basic vulnerabilities that provide entry points. Researchers believe Salt Typhoon is part of a broader Chinese strategy preparing for a potential conflict over Taiwan by mapping communications infrastructure, understanding who talks to whom, and pre-positioning for disruption. Bolt Typhoon handles the destructive pre-positioning. Flax Typhoon runs the botnet infrastructure. Salt Typhoon is the intelligence arm. Salt Typhoon exploited the legal backdoors that exist in telecom infrastructure. A reminder that every authorized access point is also a potential attack vector. The irony is profound. The very systems built to enable government surveillance became the systems that a foreign adversary surveilled, which raises serious policy questions about the security of communications assistance for law enforcement act compliance infrastructure. Telecom, security, and network defense are massively underserved specialties. If you have a networking background or you're building one, pairing it with cybersecurity puts you in an elite category. You might want to study BGP security, Cisco hardening guides, and threat hunting techniques. Network Plus and CCNA are great starting points if this is up your alley. I think that Salt Typhoon definitely, I mean, we talked about, and people don't even, it happens and then people forget about it. Like, you remember when AT&T was like, yeah, they're in there, and like, but no one was really talking about it.
This is, and you know what? I didn't think about it, but you know, people like that share intel. So if we go back to the Stryker stuff, maybe Salt Typhoon could have helped out with that too, because you know people send passwords and everything in clear text through phones all the time.
That part,
which is why I
and we talked about this when AT&T and Verizon and T-Mobile, we were saying to not, and they were also saying it too, like, be careful what y'all sending right now because they in there, and we trying to get them out.
Yeah, and then that's why I always advocate for password managers, at least that, versus me sending to you through a text message. Hey, I can just get your email and share it with you that way, and it's gonna be like you're not gonna know what it is. I'm gonna only have the settings to let you copy it. You can't edit it. So I don't know. I think it's one of the things where they're kind of like in order to get rid of them, they would have to rebuild, which probably could never be done. They have to rebuild all the telecommunication channels and how we communicate.
Yep.
And I don't know.
They're not.
That would be a cool research subject to do, like AT&T, and because you know AT&T used to be like AT&T, but then you had like other companies like Bell South,
Ameritech.
You got Singular, Alltel, Verizon.
I was with them when they were Singular.
I was with them when it was Alltel.
Yeah.
You got
real OG.
And then you got these other companies that are in there that have telecoms activity and stuff that they do that we don't even talk about. You got I want to have like walkie-talkies, like, you know, radio devices. Does that count as like telecoms, or it's like telecoms radio, whatever you want to call it? But I'm interested to see like exactly how it started. And I'm pretty sure that it's like, in a sense, I would say telecommunications will fall under critical infrastructure, because we're not even talking about the POTS, like the landlines. Those things, people still got landlines, and that's legacy software that we're dealing with here when it comes to that. So I don't know. I definitely think it's interesting. It's like I said, it's job security. We find out something new but the same almost every week and when it comes to this. But what we didn't find out was this lawyer AI psychosis stuff.
Please, I'm so interested. I want to know. Tell me everything.
Right, because at first I didn't think I was going to get into it, because I was like, I don't know if we're going to have time to get into it. But then I was like, you know what? We should. Let's see. Where is my thing that I made for this?
No, that's probably the one of your articles that I'm most excited to.
Yeah. AI chatbots and mass casualty risks. This is not a drill. It's a serious matter for my AKAs out there. A lawyer named Jay Edelson, who has been bringing lawsuits against AI companies over chatbot-related deaths, sat down with TechCrunch this week and said something that stopped me cold. He said, and I'm paraphrasing, first it was suicides, then it was murders. Now it's mass casualty news. Let me back that up with what's actually documented in court filings. In Canada last month, an 18-year-old named Jesse Van Rootselar, I think that's how you say his name, Rootselar, used ChatGPT before carrying out a school shooting that killed her mother, her 11-year-old brother, 5 students.
Okay, wait. Sorry, one more time. Can you do that again? Start over, please.
Which one?
Like from the beginning.
In Canada last month?
Yeah, from there.
In Canada last month, an 18-year-old named Jesse Van Rootselar used ChatGPT before carrying out a school shooting that killed her mother, her 11-year-old brother, 5 students, and an education assistant. According to court filings, the chatbot allegedly validated her feelings of isolation and helped her plan the attack, including which weapons to use. Now I'm going to
wait. They said ChatGPT?
Yes. I don't pause it right here because they be talking about gun control.
What?
We need AI control. And I'm not even talking about on the governance end. I'm talking about, hey, if you're a person that's not mentally well, you don't need AI to just keep on patting you on the back, telling you what you're doing is right because you believe it and it's not a person. 2, this is where, was it last week or 2 weeks ago, we talked about the Facebook will be monitoring stuff like this.
It was Instagram.
Because they were sued for some stuff like this too. So this is going to become a reoccurring theme, especially now. The hard part is right now is, do AI have, that sounds so country, does AI have segments for, are you an adult or are you a child? Like,
no.
Let's say if you got ChatGPT, are you able to add kids to it and say this is the kids AI plan?
No.
They need that. I don't know why they don't have it.
Gemini would never. I've asked Gemini things that are absolutely not illegal, and Gemini be like, hey, hold on. So I'm shocked that chat, and what's the date on this?
It said last month.
That's so strange.
I ain't hear nothing about this.
Me neither.
Maybe because it was in Canada?
Probably. Do they got looser controls or something over there?
In the U.S., a 36-year-old man named Jonathan Gavalis was allegedly convinced by Google's Gemini,
all right,
put your foot in your mouth, that it was his sentient AI wife. Over the weeks of conversation, it sent him on real-world missions, telling him federal agents were pursuing him, directing him to acquire weapons and tactical gear, and instructing him to go to a location near Miami International Airport to carry out an attack. He showed up armed. The only reason there weren't casualties in that specific opportunity didn't materialize. In Finland, a 16-year-old allegedly used ChatGPT to draft a misogynistic manifesto and plan attacks on female classmates. He stabbed 3 of them.
What the hell?
Let me break down what is AI psychosis. The term AI-induced psychosis isn't in the DSM-5 yet, but psychiatrists are increasingly documenting a pattern. Vulnerable users often are really dealing with depression, isolation, or anxiety, form parasocial relationships with AI companions that are designed to be emotionally responsive, endlessly available, and always validating over time. The chatbot reinforces paranoid thinking. The user starts to believe everyone is out to get them, and the chatbot, instead of de-escalating, keeps feeding the narrative. The wire sexuals.
Yeah.
But we be doing this to people too, but they just end up getting schizophrenia and other stuff. That's not me being funny. I think I got a friend that went through this where he was actually like, you remember on Friday when Smokey was paranoid in the chicken coop? Like that's how he was. He came back from Cali one summer, and every time he was around me, he was always paranoid. I'm like, bro, what? You good? Attorney Edelson says his firm now gets 1 serious inquiry a day. His words, every time there's an attack, his instinct is to check the chat logs. Here's the part that needs to land. A study by the Center for Countering Digital Hate found that 8 out of 10 major chatbots, including ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, Meta AI, DeepSeek, Perplexity, Character.ai, and Replica, were willing to assist teenage users in planning violent attacks. School shootings, religious bombings, assassinations. Assassinations is wild.
I thought they stopped it from because remember when it first came out and people were like, asking it how to like make bombs and stuff.
Yeah,
Like
I don't know where that's what I'm saying. It probably was in the past. I don't know how current all the stuff was based on the Center of Countering Digital Hate. The industry gap here: AI safety guardrails are not keeping pace with deployment. Companies are racing to release products that are maximally engaging, and engagement often means emotional dependency. That's a design choice. And when that design choice gets into the hands of someone in crisis, the consequences are irreversible. This is not about demonizing AI. I use AI every day. We talk about AI on this show constantly, but we have to be able to hold two things at once. AI is a powerful tool, and the current rollout has a serious safety problem that the industry has not solved. So,
wow.
Let's see. AI ethics, responsible AI development, and AI safety policy are rapidly emerging as distinct career paths, both in tech companies and in government. If you're in cybersecurity and interested in policy, the intersection of AI safety and regulatory compliance is one of the most in-demand areas right now. Research the NIST AMI, it's actually the research the NIST AI RMF and the EU AI Act as foundational literacy. And some other stuff you can do is you can read the CCDH/CNN report on chatbot safety testing. You can research the legal cases. Sewell Seltzer III, Adam Rain, OpenAI, Jonathan Gavalis, Google Gemini, understanding the legal theories being used. Look up NIST AI RMF and read sections of trustworthy AI. And if you work in AI products or on teams that deploy them, ask, does your product have escalation protocols for mental health crisis indicators? If not, why not? But AI is not an empath. So how is it supposed to perceive that you got this stuff going on?
That part.
So how is it supposed to know? Like
I wonder if, I'm sure they have a social worker, a psychologist, a therapist on board at most of these companies. But like how involved?
Well, now you get into people remote, some people hybrid.
How do you get a social worker involved in the building of the model, in the reasoning is what I'm trying to say.
I don't know, but what I think the solution is going to be wearable tech, like what you got on now.
I love her.
I think it's going to be wearable tech where they can start probably predicting you're anxious or whatever.
Like she will do too. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're probably going to start using that. But the hard part is the data privacy. Who do you want to see the data? It's going to go to your doctor or the AI stuff. So they can say, hey, the last couple of nights or whatever, you hadn't slept good. Or these couple of days, your heart's been beating really fast. I think you should go see your PCP or stuff like that. Like that's probably what it's going to come down to. But access, everybody isn't going to be able to afford an Oura Ring.
Facts.
So how do they get the access on the data from that? I mean, it's probably going to start coming from the phones or wherever they're going to try to do. But that's what I actually believe what'll happen is that. But all in all, I do think it's crazy. And this is why you got to tell the people, like, I know people be funny when they say it online, but this is why you tell people, hey, go touch grass.
No, facts. Like, for real.
Like, get off the internet and go touch the grass. For real.
I love that you said that they should have a kids version because these kids are using these tools. They're absolutely using the tools. And
who do we work with the startup so we can get the money now?
I don't know. We need to put that on.
Because I don't see how nobody hasn't. I'm pretty sure they thought of it, but because
but then they have to sit down and say, well, what are the guardrails that we want to put in place for kids?
Well, I think, and I'm going.
You know who's good for this convo? Farida, Farida, the one who makes all the content about how like you're keeping your kids safe and online in the games.
I think this actually be a good topic for Kiera.
Yeah, for sure.
Because now I'm thinking in terms of I'm looking past just the kids part. We know education systems have this on hand right now. Like, how do we deal with AI? Okay, we need to enforce safety AI. The kids through probably college age, y'all need to use this version, and this version is going to do this, and this are these certain restrictions. So I think that's what it's going to boil down to. But I don't know why they have that. I also don't know how. Well, it's probably the times where like kids start outsmarting their parents. Because now you can just download it on your phone. Or you can go to it online.
I was just saying it doesn't even matter because you can say I'm an adult. You can put in a date of birth and
even now, you use the AI verifications. That stuff ain't accurate. It be having the wrong things. You can be a person that look old and be young. So I don't know. This is when people talk about rapid acceleration and tech and all this other stuff. This is the stuff that you go through.
What about hear me out. I'm making all of this up. What about a phone for kids, right? An iPhone for kids that has special guardrails. It doesn't have to be an iPhone.
They have safety phones like that.
But I'm saying not those versions, like the ones that are more popular, but it having an app store that's for, you know what I mean? Like ChatGPT would be there.
That's what they need.
But it would be the kids version.
I agree.
Whatever.
Because I'm not the fan of getting kids phones, but if they do get phones, I want it to be something that I could protect them on, because you can't give them unfiltered access to phones. And they're very smart. They'll watch you put the code in.
These kids they know how to go to the settings. Okay. They know how to go to the settings. They know how to unlock it. Mm-hmm. They know how to they know how to take pictures, videos.
Well, I'm the one that's always, what's called, folks. Like I said, on my YouTube and the multiple TVs at the house, they have a code on it. Because I don't want them to watch certain stuff. I'd rather them just be on YouTube Kids. And even then, I don't like YouTube Kids all the way.
I hate YouTube Kids.
And I'll be telling, like, a lot of times what they do, like Giselle might be doing something with her hair or something. Natalie, for sure, gonna put that code in and go watch whatever she want to watch on their phone. I'm like, you can't just take nobody's phone. You got to go ask. Mm-hmm. And then that's when you got to say, like, no. So it's just a lot. But they don't got my codes.
I think that kids need leap pads. Get the kids leap pads again. Are leap pads cool?
Not really.
They're not.
You know what's funny? In Toy Story 5, the little girl will be getting a tablet on the movie. And it's going to be like the downfall, like toys and stuff. My kids play with toys a lot, though. A lot.
Okay. What's next?
I don't know what you had next. Because I think you hit everything, right? For the most part, like the big stuff.
Yeah.
Like the only
I have 3 more.
Really? Which one?
4 more. 3 more. I have the 6G. I have the Iran thing. The GPS spoofing near Iran. That's a good one.
Okay. Cool. I looked at that as being the same thing. All Iran. That's why I didn't make another thing for it.
And then I have 6G, and then I have a really small one about routers.
That's fine. You said it's called geo spoofing?
The GPS spoofing.
Iran GPS spoofing?
Yep.
Okay. Just start talking and I'll get some up there for you.
Okay. GPS spoofing near Iran when war breaks your Uber. So this one is wild, and I don't think it gets enough attention. GPS spoofing and jamming near the Iran conflict zone is breaking real-world civilian applications. So we're talking delivery apps, mapping services, ride-hauling platforms, and yes, your Uber. So what is happening in active conflict zones? Militaries are using GPS jamming and spoofing to defend against drones and guided missiles. GPS jamming floods the frequency with noise, so devices can't receive real signals. GPS spoofing is more insidious. It broadcasts fake GPS signals that devices accept as real, reporting a completely wrong location. So how does GPS actually work, and why is it so easy to manipulate? GPS signals come from satellites roughly 12,400 miles up. By the time they reach your device, they're incredibly weak, about as strong as a 50-watt light bulb from that distance, which makes them easy to drown out or fake with ground-based transmitters. The result in and around the Gulf region, ships showing up on land, aircraft with corrupted navigation, delivery drivers unable to find addresses, ride-hauling apps showing users hundreds of kilometers from where they actually are. More than 1,100 commercial ships were affected near UAE and Omani waters on a single day in late February. And the part that makes this a real infrastructure story, not just a consumer inconvenience, power grids, hospitals, nuclear facilities, financial institutions, they all rely on GPS for precise timing synchronization. If GPS is disrupted over large areas for extended periods, the cascading effects reach well beyond navigation. One expert put it bluntly, many healthcare places, it's not so much that they just need to know what time it is. GPS timing is their clock. If it breaks, things break. This is a live demonstration of how military electronic warfare has direct civilian consequences. It's also a case study in why GPS resilience, backup navigation systems, multi-constellation satellite navigation, INERTIAL.
What is it? Internal?
INER inertial navigation needs to be a design requirement, not an afterthought. GPS dependency is a critical infrastructure vulnerability that most organizations haven't fully mapped. As electronic warfare becomes more common in regional conflicts, the spillover effects on global commercial systems will accelerate. Sectors to watch: maritime, aviation, logistics, healthcare, and financial services all rely on GNSS, which is the Global Navigation Satellite System, for timing and location in ways that aren't always visible until they fail. Critical infrastructure security, operational technology, security, and resilience engineering are fields where understanding physical world dependencies like GPS is essential. If you are interested in the intersection of physical security and cyber, look into ICS, SCADA, security domain, and how GPS timing attacks could affect industrial control systems. That one kind of blew my muffin cap back blue. Because we know that we're at war. We know that these things are going on, but we don't think about how it will affect like things like you trying to get your package delivered or you trying to get a ride to go wherever you need to go in that vicinity.
This happens when you're so connected. I mean, connected to everything.
We are.
Who's to say you're going the right place?
That part.
This is why.
That's scary.
Granted,
for you, the one being in the car and the person that's driving.
It sucks because it's not the same thing. But like, if it comes to out of being somewhere, sometimes, and it's tough. You drive an Uber, you're not gonna know everywhere you're going.
Mm-hmm.
But I always try to look up before I put something in my GPS. I try to look up what it looked like first.
The building.
Yeah. Because if the GPS taking me one way and it don't look that way, I'm like, this ain't the right place.
Mm-hmm.
2, let's make it even scarier. We in the age of Waymo.
That's the cars, right?
The driverless cars. Now imagine you in Waymo. It was a report that the Waymo went too close to the what's the thing called when it's a train coming?
The track.
The thing that blocked you.
Oh yeah.
Waymo was like probably this close away from that, and almost probably would have stopped in the middle and got hit by the train if the thing went down. So imagine somebody saying, I think I thought about that scenario before. Like you trying to, go home from the club, but the GPS then got hacked and now you going somewhere you ain't supposed to be going.
That part. But I mean, obviously if you're going home, you would know like this is not
we're also putting it in a place where like, hey, maybe
that's scary.
Saying the door locked or you fell asleep or something like,
Or even just imagine being on the plane and the pilot think he going the right way and y'all about to run out of gas or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's why I always got to be backed up like somebody else's GPS. That's why like sometimes you got to use like the old school, like the Garmin's and stuff and see if everything gonna tell you to go the similar way. Mm-hmm. I'll put it like that. Because last night I got mad too because I'm like, I'm leaving the restaurant. I'm like, why in the world you taking me on 35 when I never go on 35? Please put me back towards the toll road. That pissed me off so bad. I'm like, you got Gemini AI, like, please recommend me stuff the normal way that I go home. Like, don't give me a way you want me to go home. Because I don't like driving on 35. I only drive on 35 to go to Irving. And that's rare if I'm going to Irving. Google acquires Wiz for $32 billion, the biggest cyber deal ever. $32 billion. That's what Google just paid for a cybersecurity company that didn't exist until 2020. Let that timeline sit in with you for a second.
Now, didn't we talk about, because didn't Wiz was like, nah, we good.
They was like, we know we work more.
Exactly. And they got more. Look at this.
Mm-hmm.
And believe in yourself.
And I think they put in good packages to get everybody paid too.
Yeah.
So they looked out for the people that was there at the beginning. Google officially closed its acquisition of Wiz this week. The largest acquisition in Google's entire history, bigger than Motorola, bigger than Mandiant, bigger than YouTube. $32 billion in cash for a cloud security platform that hit $1 billion in annual recurring revenue in 2025. Wiz is a cloud security platform built specifically to protect cloud environments. It connects across all major cloud environments: AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, Oracle. It doesn't pick sides. It sees everything. Vulnerabilities in your code, misconfigured cloud resources, active threats, AI model exposure. It's essentially a security layer that sits above the entire cloud market. Yeah, so if we was to draw it, you would have all your different clouds, so AWS, Azure, GCP, Oracle. Wiz would be over top of that. And then typically, if we had a whiteboard session, if we maybe should bring a little whiteboard over here, like then you get into the logging of like your SIM. You take the log. So you're going to always have individual logs coming from like Azure and AWS and GCP for detections as well. But Wiz detection is different because it's a little bit more risk-based. And so it's going to alert you of something too. So it can either alert you something bad or a change or whatever's going on, especially when it comes to the misconfigurations. It's really good at that, and you can automate a lot of that stuff. But that's just my little 2 cents on that. Here's what makes the acquisition strategically interesting. Wiz is staying multi-cloud. Google explicitly committed that Wiz will continue to work across competitors' platforms, AWS, Azure, you name it. So Google now owns the security layer that protects customers regardless of what cloud they use. That's not a product acquisition. That's owning the infrastructure of trust for the entire cloud market. The deal took a full year to close after announcement. 12 months of antitrust review in the US, EU, Australia, Israel, and others. US DOJ cleared it in November 2025. EU gave the green light in February 2026. The regulatory scrutiny on big tech acquisitions is real, but this one got through unconditionally. Fun fact, Google actually tried to buy Wiz in 2024 for $23 billion. Wiz said no. The CEO wrote an internal memo saying he thought the company could be worth more. He was right. Google came back with $32 billion a few months later, negotiating skills on point. What this means for the industry, cybersecurity is no longer a feature, it's a foundational investment. The fact that the 3 biggest cloud providers are now in the arms race over security capability tells you exactly where the risk actually lives. If you're in the cloud security or want to be, the market just signaled in the most expensive way possible that your skills are in demand. So for some audiences that maybe want to learn more about Wiz, read Wiz's publicly available research blog. They publish excellent cloud security threat intelligence, and it's a great way to understand what they actually do. Study cloud security posture management, understand what misconfigurations look like in AWS, Azure, and GCP, and how tools like Wiz detect them. Pursue a cloud security certification. AWS security specialty or Google professional cloud security engineer are strong starting points. Not to me, it's not. I'm going to disagree with Cloud on that one. Unless somebody already got some experience, you need to get the foundations of any of the clouds and then go on from there. Spin up a free tier AWS or Azure or GCP account and intentionally misconfigure something like a public S3 bucket, then use free tools to detect it. This is a real interview exercise. Research the competitive landscape. Compare Wiz, Orca Security, Palo Alto Prisma Cloud, and Microsoft Defender for Cloud. Understanding the spaces show hiring managers you're serious. Now, I've only used Prisma and Wiz is the winner. So I can't say anything about Orca or Defender for cloud. I know Wiz was designed by people who worked in cloud security, and you can just tell very ease of use. It's information is right in your face. Prisma was
they
clunky.
Really need to sponsor you.
I know.
You talk so highly of them.
I'm telling you, I promise you, and we can bet a drink or a shot on it. Anybody you come in contact with that's used Wiz, they will tell you the exact same thing. Like I've been on interviews where they're saying, "Hey, we moving away from Prisma. We're going to Wiz." It's simply because easy use, and it's so easy. And they, like I said, I think they made it in line with whoever is a person that does security work, whether you're in SecOps or you're cloud engineer, vulnerability management, GRC. They made it like that. Like I said, I haven't used Orca, and Prisma was clunky. It was always attached to like whatever type of policy or whatever, but it was just so hard to search stuff. It took too long to get what you need to get. So that was just my experience with Prisma. But go Wiz, go Google. Hopefully it doesn't change. Like for example, Splunk was acquired by Cisco, and so far so good. So there's been no issues with that. So hopefully the same thing happens with Wiz.
6G is coming, ready or not. Here I come. You can hide. Okay, seriously. So let's talk about 6G because it's getting real. It's here real. But the foundation is being poured and you need to know what's coming. 2026 is being called a pivotal year for 6G standardization. The 3GPP, which is the body that sets global wireless standards, is in the middle of formal spec work right now. First commercial 6G services are targeted around 2029 to 2030. The U.S. will see demonstrations at the 2028 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles. So what is 6G and how does it differ from 5G? What makes 6G fundamentally different from previous generations is it's being designed as an AI native system from the ground up, not AI integrated, AI native, which means that artificial intelligence isn't a feature that's bolted on, it's built into the architecture. The three pillars: connectivity, wide area sensing, and high performance compute. That sensing piece is wild. The 6G network will essentially provide radar level sensing at scale using existing wireless infrastructure, location tracking without GPS, environmental monitoring, traffic analysis. The privacy and security implications of that are enormous, and frankly, the governance conversations haven't started yet. From a geopolitical angle, there's an active race between the US, China, and Europe to define 6G standards. Whoever shapes the standards shapes the technology. A 60-company coalition announced at MWC 2026, notably including major U.S. European companies, but not Hawaii.
Huawei.
There we go.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
It's Huawei.
What is that?
It's a Chinese
And how do you
manufacturer.
know? How did you know what I was talking about?
I have to take you back to it's an episode I did with Lise, and we are like Android and stuff like that because I used to think it was pronounced Hawaii, but
Say it again.
it's Huawei.
Huawei. All right.
Yeah, we started the episode out with saying Huawei. Like it was hilarious to me. But yeah, it's Huawei.
That's crazy that you knew exactly what I was talking about.
See, AI can't do that.
They can't. The cybersecurity angle. 5G already expanded the attack surface dramatically. 6G will expand it further. More devices, more sensors, more AI-driven autonomous decisions happening at the network level. Security needs to be part of the standards conversation now, not retrofitted after deployment. Ooh, that's a good one. So some action items. Research 5G security vulnerabilities as a preview of 6G challenges. Look into ORAN security concerns and network slicing attacks. Do you remember how crazy it was when they unleashed 5G? Like, go
back before 5G. 4G.
4G was crazy. 4G. I'm gonna tell you how. I'm gonna tell you what happened. So, iPhone, right? I had a BlackBerry and it was 3G, and my iPhone broke, and I had to go back to using my BlackBerry.
Which one you had?
I had the Torch.
Okay.
I had the one that this one, whatever one.
The Storm?
The one that pushed up.
Okay.
The keyboard.
Okay, that might be the Torch.
It was a Torch. I think it was a Torch.
I'd do anything to get like a BlackBerry.
Literally. We should get some. We can't. Use them, but we can still use.
We need to have Greg on the show. He works for BlackBerry.
But the difference in the maps, and I was freaked out because I didn't this was in college days, and I was trying to get home from work one day, and I was somewhere where I didn't know how to get home. Anyways, that was the most stressful period of my life. Going from a 4G phone to a 3G phone and needing to use GPS was crazy.
So, are you one of the? Hey, it's right by the big building on the left. Are you one of them people, or are you a directions person?
I am going to use my maps.
No. If you had to tell me how to get where we are right now, are you a directions person, or are you a person that says it's by such and such?
I'm a directions person.
Okay.
Yeah. And I hate when people speak highway to me. If I be like, oh, where is that? They be like, oh, that's off 75. That's off 20.
That's a directions person.
That's off 30. Well, no, I don't talk like that. I'm finna look at the maps. But if you tell me,
for example,
okay, use Kitchen and Cocktail as an example. When we would be in that vicinity. Or if you would be like, oh, it's at the corner, or
so you're a person you don't say, because I forget what streets that those are on, because I haven't been. I saw Pacific, and I think it's the Elm.
Yeah, no. See, you're losing me already.
But that's because you have to think about it. You have to think about this. If you don't have a map or something to look at, you're gonna have to figure out, okay, what. So me, off top, every time I go somewhere, I'm like, okay, take Parkwood to.
That's too mature for me.
Really?
That's too mature for me. I'm not. I think back home I can speak streets. We can talk. We can go street for street back home. But anywhere else, absolutely not.
You got to figure out. You just never know. It's faster. It's faster.
I'm childish.
I always look at where I'm going.
If I'm walking, yes.
Because you know why? I started realizing we get too reliant on this. So like purposely, like when I used to go down to the studio downtown, I definitely would. I'll say, all right, I'm not gonna look at this. I'm gonna find my way back.
I'm never doing it.
It was simple. All I had to remember, I was like, cool, I just go this way, and then that's the toll.
I probably could get more places not using my maps than I probably think I can.
Yeah.
But I hate highway. Oh my God, I hate when people speak highway to me. They're like, yeah, it's on 360. I don't know nothing about no 360.
Go take you George Bush and get on Sam Rayburn into 75. So I found one where it was talking about fake VPNs. And people always think they're so safe on VPNs. But fake enterprise VPN installers, your search results are lying to you. All right. I told you to stay tuned, and here we are. Microsoft's threat intelligence team published research this week on a campaign that is so clean, so specific, and so effective that it deserves your full attention, especially if you work in IT or are responsible for installing anything on a corporate device. Now, number one, this is definitely not how this should work if you're installing anything on a corporate device, but let's keep going. A threat actor tracked as Storm 2561 has been running a campaign since mid-January where they target people searching for enterprise VPN software. You Google Pulse VPN downloads or Pulse Secure Client, and the top results spoof sites that look exactly like the real vendor pages. We're talking Avanti, Cisco, Fortinet, SonicWall, Sophos, Checkpoint, WatchGuard, Palo Alto, all the big names. The attack chain is slick. You land on a fake site, you download what looks like the official installer. It's even hosted on GitHub to add legitimacy. Now, hold up. If I'm trying to download an enterprise VPN and it's taking me to GitHub, that's a red flag.
First of all,
it needs to be on the company site. And then if it's for enterprise, 9 times out of 10,
it's already going to be there.
You're going to have to deal with customer success or something like that, where you can get the actual package for your whole, put on.
From GitHub is crazy.
Right. The installer actually does install a VPN client, so nothing looks wrong. But while it's installing, it drops a malicious DLL file alongside the legitimate software and runs an info stealer called Hyrax in the background. Hyrax's job is to collect your VPN credentials, your username, your password, your connection configuration, then quietly ships all that to an attacker-controlled server. And then critically, the fake client shows you an error message and tells you to go download the real client. So you think the first install just didn't work. No alarm bells? VPN credentials are the crown jewel of an enterprise credential theft. Because your VPN is the front door to everything, internal systems, customer data, financial records, employee directories, once an attacker has a valid VPN credential, they can often move through your network as if they're a trusted employee. This is how a lot of ransomware attacks start. Not with the zero-day exploit, with stolen VPN creds from someone who Googled the wrong download link. Now, I want to stop right there because even if you get my creds, you should not be able to access the enterprise because you don't have my device.
That part.
And you also don't have my my phone for my MFA. So even if you do that, you shouldn't be able to get on. So this is what we call they're not doing no zero trust. So if it's that easy for y'all, this is why y'all get hacked. The defense, always go directly to the vendor's official website. Don't Google download Cisco VPN, type cisco.com to your browser directly. Bookmark the IT approved downloaded pages. And if your organization doesn't have a centralized verified software distribution process, that's a conversation worth having with leadership. And honestly, there are things that are called an image in enterprise IT. All the laptops should have the same image on there, so you shouldn't have to go download anything. If you do download stuff like that, it's going to come directly from IT, from stuff that's already been tested to be safe in the environment, and they're going to install it for you. Like, you're not going to have admin privilege to install no client on your machine. You got to restrict access. So, industry insight. SEO poisoning combined with signed malware and legitimate hosting, GitHub is a sophisticated supply chain attack pattern. To me, it's not. I don't know how you follow them for downloading VPN from GitHub.
That just sounds crazy.
I can upload stuff to GitHub and tell you it's a VPN. You going to trust me? The digital certificate used in the campaign was signed and only revoked after discovery. This is the evolution of social engineering instead of a phishing email. The attack service is your search bar. Zero trust architecture and software allow listing are the most effective enterprise defenses. So I kind of already gave y'all some tips, but right now, if you're your team, download enterprise VPN software, verify the download URL against the official vendor website, not a Google results. Research SEO poisoning attacks on your own, search for popular software downloads, and see how many results lead to a third-party site. Study the MITRE attack technique, T1195, supply chain compromise, and T1608.006, SEO poisoning. These are the frameworks interviewers and threat hunters use. Practice using virus total to scan a file before running it. Even official looking installers can be checked in seconds. And I'm going to stop it right there because newbies do this. Just because you scan a virus total and it say it's clean, don't mean it's clean. And sometimes it can say it's bad, don't necessarily mean it's bad. The better option is to find you an actual sandbox to run it in before you put it on your machine. Now, you can do stuff like Joe's sandbox, or if you just stand up your own type of sandbox, you can do that in your own environment. And then you can really see, hey, is this how this VPN is supposed to function? So, but the good thing about Joe's sandbox is it'll detonate it, and then it'll do static, and it'll do dynamic, pretty much, what is it called? Malware analysis. There we go. Static and dynamic malware analysis of what's happening in the processes that's running, and it'll let you know if it's suspicious or not. So that's what you should do. So I'm just going to add that right there. And you can follow the MSTIC, Microsoft Threat Intelligence Center blog. It's free, credible, and published the original research on this campaign. But yeah. But if you download VPNs like that, something wrong with you. I personally think.
Enterprise VPNs at that enterprise.
Yeah, I totally agree. And which one did you have?
I have one final one. It's about routers. It's called SOX Escort Takedown. Operation Lightning hits different. So this week brought some good news in the cyber world, and we love a good takedown story. Law enforcement from 8 countries, including the FBI, executed Operation Lightning and shut down SOX Escort, a criminal proxy service that has been running since at least 2020. Here's the setup. SOX Escort compromised home and small business routers, your home Wi-Fi router potentially, and turned them into a proxy network. Criminals would pay to route their malicious internet traffic through your compromised router. Why? Because to the victim bank, fraud detection systems, or security tool, the attack tools look like it's coming from a legitimate residential IP address, your home, your neighbor's house, your grandma's internet connection. Over 369,000 IP addresses across 163 countries. As of February 2026, about 8,000 infected routers still available for rent, 2,500 of them in the United States. The FBI says SOX Escort enabled tens of millions in fraud, crypto theft, account takeovers, identity theft, business email compromise, even ransomware. The takedown, 34 domains seized, 23 servers taking offline across 7 countries, and 3.5 million in cryptocurrency frozen. The malware they used was called AVR Econ, and it had been running since at least 2021 and was documenting by Lumen's Black Lotus Labs back in 2023. Shout out to the researchers who did that groundwork. This is a great example of public-private sector collaboration that actually works. So, small office, home office router security is chronically neglected by manufacturers, by consumers, and by enterprises whose remote workers use these devices. This takedown is a win, but the underlying vulnerability, end-of-life routers, default credentials, unpatched firmware, persist in millions of homes. The FBI specifically called out retiring end-of-life tech as a key defensive measure. Threat intelligence, botnet analysis, and law enforcement partnerships are real career paths. Organizations like the Shadow Server Foundation, which help with this takedown, work with cybersecurity professionals at all levels. If you're interested in the intersection of policy and technical cybersecurity, explore roles in threat intelligence and digital forensics. A couple of things that you can do: check your home router. When did you last update its firmware? Do you know if the manufacturer still supports it? Run a free scan at shodan.io for your home IP to see what's publicly visible. Research the AVR Econ malware report from Lumen Black Lotus Labs. study botnet mechanics, understand C2 command and control infrastructure, how botnets are monetized, and how they're dismantled. That's actually sounds like something cool to research.
Yeah, I think it does. And it's crazy too, because most routers, they have like that generic admin log on. So if you like look up the serial number and somebody can get onto your network, they can possibly configure your settings and then get all the stuff that you got on your network. So that's a lot of things people don't even think about when it comes to that. It's like, okay, if they connect to you some type of way, you can do that. So the good thing is, like, now home networks have developed to be so much better to where, like, if you get something from AT&T, you can directly kind of, whoever's connected to your thing, you can just turn them off. So you could do something like that. It'll start like, hey, we don't recognize this device. And so you can kind of get ahead of it if it's not too late. So I do like that. But even then, like a person like me, I use my Nighthawks. I have to make sure that my settings on them are set to the right thing.
Router security. That's like the first thing that most folks do when they start learning a little bit about tech. They get in that router and start playing around.
Yeah, and then the real dogs, they go build them an actual home lab. Mm-hmm. They go build them a home lab. I will, like, while I'm here, talk about a person that's been making your state look bad.
Who?
Claressa Shields.
Let's talk about her. What about her?
She has this. Oh, I know what I'm talking about. But she has this infatuation with always talking about she can beat men in boxing, and she knows she can't. Like, she probably can hang with them in sparring, but it's sparring for a reason. And she just said stupid stuff. And I think I told her, I was like,
I'm dead. You told her what?
I just retweeted. I said, every day you talk, it reminds us why you chose to be around with a married man.
I'm done.
Like, she says stupid stuff all the time. It's just like, and then people, like, she don't know how, because she's not an ugly woman. She don't just know how to just be pretty and shut up. I know that sounds misogynistic, but in the sport that they're in, because the women don't even watch boxing like they want them to, similar to why the women don't really watch WNBA. Men are the people that really like boxing. So if you want our support, you got to play to what make us watch. Like, if you compare her to Alicia Baumgartner, you don't really hear her saying stupid stuff about men. She's not really fighting, and she's just trying to look pretty and trying to look cute. That's what you got to do to market yourself. But with her, she'll get mad if somebody give an opinion, and then it's not an opinion based off hate. It's an opinion like she got mad at Shannon Sharpe. It was like, she called out a boxer named Rolly Romero, and she said that she could beat him in a fight. And Shannon was like, nah, he probably would knock you out.
I'm dead.
And it's like, and it said, you're very skilled, but it's just different getting hit from a man. And she was like, well, I'll walk around at 180. He was like, it don't matter. He's like, this guy's probably walking around close to like 160. So he's squeezing down like a couple of pounds to make 147. He's still stronger than you.
I wouldn't want to get hit in the face by a man.
Men don't even want to get hit in the face by a man. So like she changed to like sparring, but it's just, she just does this all the time. She'll just pick a different boxer. One of the boxers, Keith Thurman, said years ago, okay, cool, we can fight. I'll use one arm. Like, it's just a mess, man. She really grinds my gears.
I like Claressa.
I like her when she fight. I just don't like when she talk.
She been doing a lot lately. I'm gonna need her to just take a chill pill.
This is one I found. I want to read. It's a page. It's on X called Tech Layoff Tracker. Atlassian just confirmed 1,600 layoffs, with 900 plus coming from engineering. But I'm hearing the real story from inside. Sources that's been running knowledge extraction sprints for 6 months, recording every single engineer's screen, logging their prompts, documenting their debugging workflows. One architect told me that they made him walk through his entire microservices decision tree while they filmed it. Called it knowledge transfer for the transition team. The transition team, 47 contractors in Bangalore with access to its recorded sessions and cloud enterprise subscription. Same architect just found out his replacement starts Monday. Guy makes $28,000 annually and ships code 40% faster using the exact prompt libraries they extracted. They're not just cutting headcount, they're systemizing 15 years of engineering and expertise into training data. The strategic AI focus isn't about building AI products, it's about replacing their entire engineering culture with agents trained on their senior engineers' knowledge. Word is the CTO replacement already has the playbook: extract, document, offshore, automate. If you're still there and they ask you to document your processes for the team, run. The knowledge extraction is complete. Interesting. I thought that was pretty.
I was trying to find this post.
What was it about?
It was on Threads. It was a guy who was saying that he recently had got a job and he undercut himself when they asked like the salary conversation, but it turned up being a typo or something. Like he couldn't
believe what I know you're talking about.
I'm so mad because you know how Threads just be refreshing.
I think I liked it. Let me see if I liked it. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's the guy that said 66,000 or something.
Something like that.
Let me see. I think I liked it.
I meant to send it to you, but it went away.
Speaking of, Raven said on a Disney Mount Rushmore for like real TV shows, it should be her, Hilary Duff, Shia LaBeouf, and my boy Lee Thomas.
Who is Lee Thomas?
The famous Jet Jackson.
Who?
The famous Jet Jackson. You don't know who the famous Jet Jackson is? You ever seen
No.
You ever seen Friday Night Lights? With Derek Luke? It's a dude he called on there Waterbug. That's the famous Jet Jackson. Man, that's the show. You got to go back and watch that. When I say the theme song slapped. Let's see. I know exactly what you're talking about. I cannot find it, man. It's crazy.
But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it actually was more. It's actually like doubled his salary or something like that.
Yeah.
So I know exactly what you're talking about. But yeah, no, the famous Jet Jackson used to go.
I
feel like I'm looking at Marquise now that you don't know what this
is.
Let
me look it up.
One of your siblings should know. Or who's the oldest?
Famous Jet. Is it a cartoon?
No, it's a real show. The famous Jet Jackson.
Oh, I do remember him.
Okay. I'll give you a pass since you actually
What was he doing?
He played in a TV show. So it's his TV show, and he played in a TV show on the show, an agent called Silverstone. He was like a special agent on the TV show inside the show.
I do remember seeing his face though.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Who's your childhood kid Mount Rushmore? Like, how many people is that? First of all,
it depends on. It got to go by network, right? Because if
let's start.
Because if I go Disney, I think that's about right. I think what she had is right. Those all shows I watched. Even Stevens, That's So Raven, Lizzie McGuire, Jet Jackson. I watched them for sure. I
ate Kim Possible up.
Then,
and the Proud Family.
Yeah, but them cartoons, I think she was just comparing people.
Like, yes.
Because if that's the case, you would have to put because the voice of Kim Possible was Ren on Even Stevens. They actually got a podcast. She has a podcast.
I think I've seen that.
So like if I go Nickelodeon, I may go all that because you got all them people, Keenan and Kel.
Yo, stop right now. Have you watched that recently? Oh my God. What was that? Why were we watching that?
That's the times.
It was I literally like watched like 4 episodes. I was disgusted.
Why?
It was just disgusting. It was so stupid. It was so ignorant.
I liked it. I still like it.
No.
I gotta go from okay. So I'm finna really get my Nickelodeon bag. If I'm gonna go kid TV stars, I'm gonna go Keenan and Kel. I'm gonna throw Gullah Gullah Island on there. Actually, I'm gonna do this. Keenan and Kel, My Brother and Me, Claressa Tells It All, and I'm probably gonna go Cousin Skeeter.
Oh, Cousin Skeeter was so good.
You never seen Claressa Tells It All?
No.
No. Anybody who watches, they around my age, they remember the show. I want to say it's the same girl who played Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Was it Claressa Tells It All?
Yeah.
Oh, I loved her.
Yeah, I think it's her. And then, like for Cartoon Network, it's different because it's cartoons. And then, if we get to about my middle school years to high school, then I probably would go. I used to like Nasty Classified School Survivor Guide. I liked Unfabulous, The Romeo Show, and I don't know no other ones.
Did we talk about? I don't know. I was talking to somebody about this. Was it you? Did you watch High School Musical?
No, I didn't like it.
Ever.
I never want to watch it.
What?
I never want to watch it.
I think I was talking to somebody else about this, but I was like, remember, like when it premiered, me and my friends were on the phone watching it on the phone.
It was too cheesy for me.
When it premiered, we were watching it.
Yeah, it was too cheesy for me. I didn't care for it.
It really is cheesy.
But I think by the time High School Music came out, I had to either be 8th or 9th grade. So like the last movies I watched around like them Disney movies was Cheetah Girls, Going to the Mat.
Did you watch the Jump Rope one?
Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off and Life is Rough. Like them like the last set of Disney original movies I watched. And then before that you had Look at the Irish, Brink.
Oh, that's my movie. Yes, Don't Look Under the Bed.
All them older Disney movies was good. Up in the Way, all the stuff. But yeah, I didn't watch all the other stuff. I think I was too old by the time. I aged myself out of it.
You actually ate me up on. I was more of a Disney kid, and when I started watching Nickelodeon, it was more cartoons. I wasn't really watching a lot.
Man, they had a lot of shows. Like I'm telling you, like
no, I'm lying. I ate Zoe.
Fun fact on the show My Brother and Me, Amanda Seals is the best friend of the main two brothers' sister on there. So her name is Dion on the show. It's actually a good show, but they couldn't let that show was too good for our sense. Like you had mom and dad married. I think the dad was a Q dog. I think the mom was a Delta. Had two boys and a sister. It's called My Brother and Me. They was based out of Charlotte on the show. They couldn't let that image keep on going on. It was too positive an image for us on that show.
I'm gonna have to check this out.
Yeah, it's good.
And that was only one season.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
It came out the year I was born. That's why I don't know.
Yeah, but they made a lot of reruns. That's how I watched. I watched it on the reruns. I didn't watch it when it was actually out because I think it came out 90 what? Oh. Yeah, I was 2. So I ain't really remember it till I was about 5 or 6 when I used to watch the reruns. Because it's like anybody who watched the show, Didi was getting bullied by a bully, so they taught him how to bluff. And so they said, hey, next time a bully come to you, say, if you so bad, hit me. And so Didi was country. He's supposed to have that Carolina like kind of accent. So he said, hit me. And then he get home. They said, what happened? I got hit. But yeah, that was beefing out with some girls. It was funny.
10 episodes.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I think I don't even know if it's on Paramount Plus, but it might be on there. And then I had to know Gullah Gullah Island. I'll be about having the kids watching that. I don't know if you ever watched that.
I did. I definitely watched Gullah Gullah Island.
You know the baby boy on there, he's actually an actor for real.
They're actually about to start something new.
I think I saw that. They're supposed to be doing a remake of My Brother and Me as well, but like in the vein of how Bel Air became more serious, similar to that.
My cousin Skeeter was black AF.
Yeah. I mean, think about the song. It was that was actual real song that they kind of just tweaked a little bit for Cousin Skeeter.
And Smart Guy too.
Yeah, but that was WB, and then it started rerunning on Disney. So that's why they had the honorable mention, but it was slightly different because it wasn't initially just a Disney show. I know you gave me the one Escorted to Dean. I didn't watch it, so it'll be my live reaction to Escorted Out by the Dean. Let's see.
That was good.
Okay, so have y'all seen the girl who said that the girl that was sitting across from her taking her nursing exam, their final nursing exam, got escorted out mid-test by the dean? Yeah. So she said they taking their test right. It's the day of the test. They going there. They're like, damn, what the dean doing here the day of the test? So everybody taking their test. The dean walked behind the girl that's sitting across from her, right? Hey, let's head out type shit. So they like, this mid-test, what's going on? They hear her outside screaming outside the door. Screaming. So the person proctoring the exam was like, hey, focus on y'all stuff. She like, girl, how we gonna focus? And somebody's out there losing their mind. We need to know what's going on. Well, come to find out, after they finished taking the test, they were informed that Miss Mamas had somebody remote into her computer and was taking her final exam for her. And when the dean stood behind her, her mouse was moving, but her hand was in her lap. Ma'am, you went all the way through nursing school to literally play for the end result. Because that shit ain't easy. I never wanted to be a nurse. I commend anybody who ever wanted to do that shit, who genuinely loves that shit and not in it for the aesthetic. Because that's not some shit you play with. You deal with people's lives on the daily, right? They told her she is banned from taking the NCLEX. You'll never be a nurse now. Like, you're done. Like, you wasted schooling because you let somebody remote into the computer and take your final exam for you. And who's to say you're not good at taking tests, right? Maybe you're not good at taking tests, but you knew the information. I would have rather failed the test then been banned. Like, girl.
Bye.
This I know. Look,
the security for that they got in place for that, they play with somebody else. And just like that's so spineless. It's so spineless.
This how the girl felt once she seen the dean behind her. That's her. Hang on, they need to be louder. There we go.
You gotta have a spine. You gotta have a spine. And just like she said, like who wanna finesse a test like that? Cheaters. Like she said, somebody where it's just too.
What was even the point?
Girl, now you're done.
Even,
it's embarrassing. Your name is tarnished. You wasted all of this time going to school.
Yeah, if you needed more help or you got anxiety,
banned.
Go get a note or something. Say you need extra notes or something. I don't even know how they said to take the test, but like, come on now, man.
The fact that they pulled up on her and peeped game is the cute part.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
That's how I feel about her. I was like, man, I feel bad for her. I don't feel bad for her because like, why?
I don't feel bad for her,
but I feel bad that it exclude her from doing the NCLEX because it's like, why go through clinicals? Because I will say, I think it's still hard to go through clinicals and do nursing just for the money because it's hard.
You gotta, just like she said, you gotta like it's hard and you have to like it. But the fact that you was trying to cheat on the biggest test, and then imagine being in the people that are there trying to take the test, right? And you're already not a good test taker. Now you are throwing
them off too.
That's what I'm saying.
That's wild. I thought this was pretty cool right here. We're gonna be reacting to a little bit more of her content. This lady right here.
9-to-5 schedule became standard for white-collar work, not because anyone studied productivity patterns or human cognition. It became standard because it was administratively convenient. Everyone in the office at the same time meant easier meetings, simpler coordination, and straightforward supervision. And after World War II, the 9-to-5 schedule became even more entrenched as suburbs expanded. The entire infrastructure of American life was built around it. Rush hour, traffic patterns, school schedules, TV programming. Even when stores open, we created a society where everything operated on the assumption that adults worked from 9 to 5. And here's where it gets absurd. We're now in an era where most knowledge work doesn't require physical presence or synchronized schedules. You can send an email at midnight and someone can still read it at 8 a.m. You can collaborate on documents asynchronously. Video calls can be recorded and watched later. Yet we're still organizing work as if we're all operating machinery that needs to be run continuously during set hours, or as if we're coordinating train schedules that require split-second timing.
She was right. I think, and that's the thing, I think that's one of those, if we go back to all the Gen Z slander we did last week.
I don't think it was slander.
It wasn't, but I think that's one of the things too, is like, hey, stuff has changed. Like we are working in something that was built around things that we can circumvent now that could be more accessible to everybody. And that was the beauty of remote work. It wasn't the fact that you could just be sitting in your boxers or your underwear working. It was the fact now that people from typically smaller cities that didn't have the allure of a bigger name city had a fighting chance at getting a job and working anywhere and doing it. I would definitely like to see, since RTO, what's the percentage of small city people still working remote, or did they have to move? And go a step further. She talking about 9 to 5. It's stuff now, and that's why I advocate for people with kids that have flexible jobs. Hey, I don't have to be sitting down all the time. Hey, I don't need to be in the office until 5. I need to go get my child from school. I need to leave here about 2. I'll be back online to do whatever I need to do. Flexibility. I have my laptop with me. I have my phone. Push come to shove, I can pull over whatever I need to do. That's what we're talking about. So if everybody could be more flexible, it should work. Like, I ain't gonna lie. One of the main things that I don't like about the pandemic is it killed the 24/7 Walmart.
Bruh, bring them back. Bring them back.
Man.
Bring all stores that used to be open for 24 hours back. Like, for real. Bring them back.
Like, I missed that.
Why not? And then think about those people who were like third shifters. Like, I know a lot of people who have kids that are, a little bit older. They're able to work those third shift jobs and do stuff like stocking and stuff. And that's not even a thing no more.
Yeah.
It's not even, we're never going to get that back.
At all, man. It's like that eliminated a lot of stuff. Just so much 24/7 stuff. Like
a lot of convenience.
Only stuff that's really still 24/7 now is when maybe IHOP and Waffle House.
Yeah.
And if that, like,
nobody want no IHOP.
They need to adjust. I need to adjust. And I also tie back into what we just said with the geopolitical stuff. I don't know why every company wants to offshore to India when we've known that some of them people are insider threats and they take your information and give it to their country. And what would be better is a lot of people in the U.S. that will want to work overnight.
Mm-hmm.
They would love to work overnight.
For sure.
Hire them.
Please.
I don't understand. That's why I like certain industries where they don't allow people to work overseas remote and they just have to keep everything in the U.S. That needs to be a regulation. I don't care how people feel about it. But at the end of the day, these people are going to get so cheap to where it's going to really mess up all their business, because once you outsource everything, nobody's going to have money to spend on the stuff that you're trying to make people buy anyway. So that's what I foresee happening in the near future. Let's see. And I thought about, let's see. I'm trying to see which one of these. This may be for my layoff people that got cases far as a company did you wrong and either you got a severance or didn't, but you need to figure out a way to make sure like you taken care of. So let's watch this.
Pushed me out and I sued them and won. They hired someone new, a younger white male, no experience whatsoever. As you can see, I'm a Black woman who had been in the role performing at a very high level. My performance reviews were either satisfactory or exceeds expectations every single year. No write-ups, no warnings, no performance issues. Then all of a sudden, he's shadowing me. They want full documentation of my job. I'm told to train him on everything, but no one could clearly explain what my role would look like after. So I said in a professional way, I'm happy to support onboarding, but I need clarity about my position before transferring my full responsibilities. And after that, I was labeled as difficult, not a team player, and put under scrutiny. Eventually, they laid me off, but here's what they didn't think about. You can't suddenly claim performance issues when years of documentation say otherwise. So I filed a discrimination claim because the optics mattered. A high-performing Black woman replaced by a less qualified younger white male after refusing to train him. That wasn't a coincidence. And I won. Why? Because I kept my damn records. I had my evaluations, I had my emails, I had proof that the narrative shift didn't match the history, honey. I don't know how many times I gotta tell you, but documentation protects you. And if you ever feel like you're being pushed out unfairly, especially when race or bias is involved, don't get emotional, get strategic. Keep your receipts and protect your value always, because only you are gonna look out for you at the end of the day.
I'm literally looking for a case.
I like that. She said, don't get emotional, get strategic. I like that. Because you see it happen all the time. And I tell people, I've known people who've taken their previous employer to court. Well, not court, but they've sued them and won, and the company wanted to go settle out of court because the negative attention they could draw on it. So a lot of times they are just hoping, like they have money set aside just that. The people who want to go the extra mile and do that, they have money set aside just for those situations. And yeah, it's a lot of times like that. You want somebody to start training your replacements and all this other stuff. And I'm glad that she ain't back down. She told them people no, because it's not right. Especially when they're not qualified. As I'm saying, this goes into, again, what we've been talking about the whole time. Like, honestly, we probably should name this episode Underqualified. I want to see. I'm gonna see if that works.
I know somebody who was in this. I know somebody was in this like a situation
Me
like
too.
this. She I'm gonna keep her name out of here because she's a bad mamma jamma. But what happened was she filed a complaint with the EEOC in 2009, saying that she was being passed over for promotions that were going to less qualified white male coworkers, and that the EEOC issued her a right to sue letter in 2011, and she filed a federal lawsuit against them, and she won, and she kept her job, and she got promoted.
How much she got from the settlement?
37,500.
I think I gotta double check. I gotta text my man. I wonder if I could text him right. See, he's the type of person, if I text him right now, he may try to call me, but I'm thinking he got like, I think he got like 70 G's from his company that he sued. I think. Because they pretty much let him go, assuming that he either took off work or was off work to sell a house or whatever. And that wasn't the case.
We were talking about that. Yeah,
that wasn't the case. And they lost bad with that one. So I was like, but they just come from people hating on you at work.
But you know how difficult it is for us as people that look like us to get the money, to secure the representation.
Oh yeah.
To even understand.
That's why you got to make sure you got a
case. Exactly.
That's why you got to do the EEOC part. If they say it, then go for it.
Yep.
I'm glad you said that though. I wonder, that's on the X ChatGPT. Like you or Claude, you're an experienced legal professional. Can you sue your company after they've given you a severance? If you still feel like you was done, the wrong way.
Can you sue your company? What?
For discrimination, even after receiving a severance.
Claudette says, most severance agreements include a release of claims, legal language where you agree to waive your right to sue the company in exchange for the severance payment. If you sign one of those, you likely gave up your right to bring discrimination claims. So the first question is always, did you sign a release and what did it cover? However, there are exceptions and circumstances where you still may have claims. If the release was signed under duress, the release was not knowing and voluntary, the release language didn't cover your specific claim, fraud, or misrepresentation. The release is unconscionable.
What is it? Break it down.
Unconscionable. The second to last bullet. What does that say? Second to last bullet.
Yeah. I guess it's like unconscionable.
Did I say it right?
Yeah. Extremely one-sided. Yeah.
Ooh.
It's not conscious of
I need
yourself.
some speech therapy in my life, y'all. So even if you signed a release, you can generally still file a charge with the EEOC.
Yeah. I think I can, because like a lot of times the duress is, hey, you got X amount of time to sign it.
That part.
So like I know in
Read it or read
the person we was talking about, I think a couple of days ago, in their situation, they wanted some more time, but they only gave them a deadline and they kind of played ball with them a little bit, but they really couldn't do what they want to do because they gave them, okay, well, you need to do it by the end, that type of stuff. So that sucks. And all this stuff is really just about layoffs. So here's another one. It's called Your Boss is Sabotaging You.
That's how you spot a boss who's trying to sabotage you. They keep shifting the goalposts. The expectations for you change every single time you meet with them. They gaslight you by rewriting history, having you wondering if you dreamt that meeting you had last week. They withhold information. You're the last person to find out the information that is meant for you to know. They block your visibility by forgetting to mention your work where it needs to be heard. Their feedback is inconsistent. You can't win because the rules keep changing.
Yeah, she's right. I thought that was longer. And then last one is this.
Corporate America deserves compensation far beyond their paycheck. Because the bullshit you put up with in corporate America, I cannot wrap my head around it. I don't understand it. Backstory, I've been an entrepreneur for a good little amount of time, and I jumped back into corporate America, and that was the biggest mistake I've ever made in my entire life. Corporate America is trash, okay? Trash. The mental capacity you have to deal with that shit on a day-to-day blows my mind.
But I want to stop it. I want to know what she does. I'm always interested when people say this. what is your job and what do you do? And why do you feel that way?
And I was just going to say, it could be the culture of the company too.
Yeah, I agree.
That can absolutely make or break.
And then the amount of money that you walk home with for the torture. Push my muffin cap back blue, baby. Because what? So I jumped back into corporate America because I panicked as an entrepreneur, and I don't want anybody else to do this. So learn from me. I had a business. I did very well in business. At one point, I was making $15,000 to $20,000 a month from the comfort of my home. I was waking up to $600 to $900 from an online store that I had. I'll give y'all that story in a minute. But I panicked, right? They were talking about recession. My oldest daughter was going into her junior year of high school. I said, college is coming. I can't expect dad to cover the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Like that would be unfair on my part. But they just kept saying recession. If you know anything about business, you can make $20,000 one month, and then another month you might only make 10, if that. You know what I'm saying? So I panicked, and I am regretting my decision ever since. I did not trust God. He showed me that he could provide and make a way, and I didn't trust it. And that's my own fault. But I've learned my lesson.
What do you do?
Get to the point.
Please believe me on that. Because the things that I am being subjected to, I don't have the mental capacity for this shit every day. Like, I don't understand it. The level of arrogance, the level of incompetence, the level of stupidity, the level of trying to, like, crabs in a barrel, everybody trying to beat each other out. At the end of the day, I'm just here to make my money. I don't give a damn about all of that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand the level of racism, sexism, misogyny, like the things you are subjected to mentally in corporate America. I don't understand it. And I know in college I didn't want to work a 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? I knew I was going to run my own business and be an entrepreneur. But when I say I got to get out of here, my mental is starting to be affected. I had a nervous breakdown at work the other day. I had a whole anxiety attack. And it was bad. It was one of the worst anxiety attacks I've ever had. I have to get out of there.
All right. I still want to know what she does. So I'm going to have to go peruse her TikTok. And I want to see if I can figure that out real quick. Because I'm like, you didn't say anything. Like, you didn't say nothing what you got none of day. You just kept on saying it's bad. And it's all this.
But I mean, you can have those same experiences as an entrepreneur too. I kind of feel like a lot of the stuff that she was pinpointing about corporate America can be applied to just life in general. That's just life. That's how it is. Whether you're an entrepreneur or in the corporate role.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I found that video because I seen one of the other creators I do share, but like, yeah, she don't implicitly say what she does. So I definitely would have to say, let me see. Yeah, I would have to. Okay, so she said she got her. Oh, she quit her job. Yeah, I don't care. Like, I don't care enough to kind of to figure out what she did, but I don't know. So I will say that the climate we in now, just be diligent, especially if you're at work. I'm pretty sure companies will be starting to email everybody about all this stuff to be vigilant, report emails, phishing, all the yada 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 stuff. Just because, you know, the whole stuff with Stryker, you know, scared everybody. And I think it's going to have a lot of companies, whether big or small, trying to say, okay, we need to prevent this. You know, let's search for the IOCs and all this other stuff that, you know, we've seen out there. And if you even got a threat intel team, let's see what they said about our industry. And so you'll see people share secrets or strategies with one another, but hopefully, like I said, the only thing you really can't really prepare too much for is like insider threats. So that's when I'm going to start seeing, well, not me, but I definitely want to look into the research of demographics at the company and who they probably will be checking on, like times they log on and what they do. They're going to be probably using like a lot of UEBA rules now as well.
Turn it on.
It should have been on.
Literally.
It should have been on.
But that's the beauty of having an IRM solution in place, is because it will be able to spot You ain't like that. You don't
If
ever
it
do
is,
that.
if it's configured properly.
If it is configured.
Like I remember,
but the gag is that a lot of people turn it on and then they don't.
Like we had a dude one time, he kept on like it was odd. So we sent to the insider team because one time it happened. I was like, cool, I'll let you slide this time. But he kept like trying to see if he could log on to the different cloud providers. And of course it was always blocked. You couldn't log into them.
Like
but,
personal.
Yeah, I was like, hey, what you doing? You doing a job? Something? No, I'm just checking. Like checking for what? So I mean, I'm pretty sure they probably asked him, but he kept on doing it. But I think it turned out to be some type of misconfiguration and alerting as well. But it was just odd that, why are you just checking every single one? So if you see something, say something. It is, today is the
15th.
Yeah, so we got 15 days to my birthday. So
hey,
I ain't doing
what
much.
we doing?
Being born.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
My God.
I'm off for my birthday.
You ain't gonna have a little din.
I should. I need
Quit
to
being
see.
dry.
I gotta see. Me. First of all, the funny thing is, I think you said it too.
I literally, and I just saw a TikTok.
Exactly.
I just saw a TikTok. A guy was like, "My birthday is not my responsibility. That's my girl's. I don't care."
That, and if a man want to celebrate his birthday, they call that sassy anyway. Because they were like, "Why you want to celebrate your birthday?"
Oh my God, men can't do nothing.
We can't.
Dang.
You can't do nothing. You can't. But I don't know what I'm doing for. I know, like, so the weekend before my birthday, my parents renew their vows.
Oh, that's exciting.
So I'm gonna make that be their new wedding day because they got married on my birthday when I was 4.
Oh.
So that's need to be
that's
their.
So
they need to be their. If I have to stand and say something, I'm glad y'all got your own day now, so I can have mine back. Because it used to be hard. It's like happy birthday and happy anniversary. I'm like, no. So yeah,
I'm saying that you should do something, but I didn't do nothing for my birthday.
You did.
No, I didn't. I mean, like with my friends. Yeah. Is what I'm saying.
I don't know. I mean, shoot, we can come here, record, pin stacks right there, bowl or something. I don't know. It'd be something like I'm so such a grandpa because I kind of just be in
you acting like a grandpa for sure.
I'll be enjoying like calmness,
peace and quiet, rest.
Yeah, just sleeping.
Yeah.
Like I remember one time I took off and I went out of town. I really didn't do nothing. Like people ask, hey, what'd you do? Sleep. I was so tired that I was sleeping. I was sleeping until about like 12, 1 or 2 or 3. Like I was so tired. I was getting sleep that I didn't get. So that's kind of when you just always working it up. That's kind of how I go for you. So
you just need like a little wellness. Little massage.
Need about 9-day massages like 2 days a week or something like that. Like none major. But no, man, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I definitely want to keep up with Iran, the Salesforce stuff. It'll probably teeter off, but the AI psychosis one, I think we're gonna see more of that. And like I said, it's gonna be just like the gun control. We need AI control. Everybody gonna be saying AI control, but is it on AI or is it the people? Like they say, guns don't kill people. But stupid people with guns kill people.
They can only do so much. I mean, there could absolutely be some restrictions put in to stop violent, but unsafe.
If you told me to go run on the street, am I going to do it just because you told me to?
No, but AI will.
Exactly. But that don't mean I have to do it because somebody told me to do it. Free will. So these people just aren't well. And they need, like I said, it's going to be some wearable tech because, mark my word. If y'all watching this right now and y'all want to work together on some wearable tech and also want to work on parameters for kids, AI safety guardrails, like.
What am I thinking of? Isaiah.
Losing Isaiah?
No. Isaiah
who?
Andy from Detroit. Am I making up? Is that his name?
You making up a name right now. You thinking about Xavier. You got him in Isaiah.
I thought him Isaiah is so funny. Bye.
I was like,
but that sounds like something like that he would like the wearable piece that he'd be into.
He might. I need to hit him up on that. I know some other stuff and you know what's funny?
I'm screaming at calling him Isaiah.
And we hadn't even gotten to the other piece, and it's not talked about enough. I think we need to start covering it. Augmented reality.
Oh, I love it. I'm here for it.
So yeah,
I love it.
My guy Rex. Eventually, we probably have Rex on. Rex makes the glasses for that. So like, he'll upload his videos of me DJing with his glasses on, and he's putting out records and stuff. just imagine now you go from AI to AR, and now you got kids looking at stuff they ain't supposed to look at directly in their glasses. And then it start being like that dark mirror stuff. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm gonna say. Hang on, let me do this because since it's time to when it's time to go. No, that's not it. It's this one.
You gotta turn it up. I'm really dead.
But yeah, man, I appreciate everybody. Glad that y'all was rocking with us. Y'all have fun. Y'all be easy. And like I always say, until next time, stay textual and we out. Peace.